Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Oh, man. Another day with a lot to talk about. We're coming on the air live right now. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and everyone like the video. When you guys like the video, it helps a lot.
You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, the longest-running radio show in Florida, on the air since 1977. This year celebrating 45 years on the air. Now, Steve Kane with Brian Craig.
Yes. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. That's right. And Friday, of course, is Open Phones on Friday. That's right, Open Phone Friday at 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. Anything and everything you have on your mind that is relevant to the conversation is welcome on the program today, because Friday is Open Phones, okay? But try to be relevant. Try to be interesting, too. I was listening to the last hour of yesterday's program on the way to work this morning in the car, and man, did I wear out the dump button yesterday. Okay, well, we have a lot going on and a lot to talk about. I'm going to start talking about something. This really aggravated me because it's scary. I was following the news about this early this morning, and they think that this topic is just a joke. They're all laughing about it. It's so funny. I'm talking about Joe Biden's cheat sheet. I'm going to go through the details of the cheat sheet in a little bit, but I want to tell you this. The cheat sheet is not a joke. It is not funny. It is not cute. It is frightening. And I'll just read you some of this. And these people in the media that, oh, he got busted with the cheat sheet. They are out of their freaking minds, people. Listen to this. Joe Biden accidentally reveals cheat sheet, reminding him to, 1, take your seat. You give brief comments for 2 minutes. You depart. And this was at a meeting with wind industry executives. And it's a card. At the top of the card it says, the president. And then there's a topic, a title, offshore wind drop-by sequence of events. And there's a whole list of things. You enter the Roosevelt room and say hello to the participants. And anytime they say you, it's in bold print. You take your seat. Next, press enters. Next, you give brief comments, 2 minutes. Next, press departs. Next, you ask Liz Schuler, president of the AFL-CIO, a question. Note, Liz is joining virtually. Next, you thank participants. Finally, you depart. Joe Biden is so checked out, he can't even walk into a room and know when to leave a room. He has a card that's telling him how to do it. This is not funny. I like Joe Concha and all that on fire. I do. He's a funny guy, but this is not a joke. What would happen, God forbid, if there was a 9/11 type event? How would this government be able to function in a true emergency like that? And let me tell you, this story, believe me, they know about it at the Kremlin and in Beijing, and Kim Jong-un as well. And they're plotting. If there was a major national security event, how would the United States react and respond? There is no proper chain of command. Now, who wrote this card and who really is walking him around like a idiot? It could be the chief of staff, it could be his wife, it could be Jean-Pierre. It doesn't matter who they are. They do not have, even the vice president does not have constitutional authority in times of an emergency to issue orders to the military. There's no chain of command here. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people historians who have researched the attack, and I don't subscribe to this theory, by the way, but it totally, I do have a theory on Pearl Harbor, but I don't want to get off track of what I'm talking about. But a lot of people believe that Pearl Harbor happened because the military branches, okay, that had intelligence gathering agencies in 1941, they had a classified chain of command, and they were very concerned with security leaks from the White House. There had been some security leaks from the White House. So goes the legend. Classified briefings were found in wastebaskets where anyone could find them. So the Navy intelligence gathering agency and some other, and I guess the Army as well, had information about Japanese fleet movement towards Hawaii. And the president at that time, Franklin Roosevelt, was cut out of the chain of briefing on these security events. And the White House had no idea. So goes this theory. 9/11 was an intelligence failure. Remember, 9/11 was the different agencies, the different intelligence agencies, this is before we had Homeland Security, didn't communicate with one another and hoarded information and didn't share it with other agencies, and it didn't make it up through the chain of command to the White House, to the president. And many believe 9/11 happened for a lot of reasons, but one of the major reasons was that. That's why the Department of Homeland Security was formed, to put all of the intelligence agencies under one umbrella, which it seems to be a wreck these days. And even then, on 9/11, if you go back and you look at what happened on 9/11, the president, George W. Bush, could not communicate with military commanders while he was up in Air Force One right after the attack. It was total chaos. No one knew who was running the government. Remember the day Reagan was shot? With Alexander Haig, I'm in charge. There was complete chaos. But in those times when there were disasters, national emergencies, attacks on this nation, communication problems, wasn't sure who was in charge. There were people, though, around that were competent and weren't suffering from Alzheimer's or some other type of age-related dementia issue, like Parkinson's or whatever, I don't know. Okay? We have a president right now who is in charge of our lives and the security of this nation, who cannot even walk into a room and walk out of a room without being directed literally like a puppet. I mean, if you were an actor working on a Hollywood film with the top director, you would not have directions as strict as this. And I don't find it funny. And you know what? I'm disgusted listening to people finding it funny and cute. We're in a very dangerous situation right now. What do you think they're thinking about right now? What do you think they're talking about in Beijing and the Kremlin? The Kremlin and Beijing probably have been on the phone together since yesterday about this. See, this is why Putin went into Ukraine. And you know, Beijing, I promise you, is having intense discussions today, more so than normal, about taking Taiwan, because what would we be able to do? There's no chain of command. Man. Yeah. So that's that. Our number's toll free. Again, open phones on Friday. 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-20-631. During the meeting with wind industry executives in the Roosevelt Room at the White House, Biden flashed the 8-point plan for how to conduct himself to photographers. Rather than refer to the president by name, whoever typed up the note had clearly intended it to be for presidential eyes only, and instead referred to Biden as you in bold uppercase lettering. The detailed instructions were titled Offshore Wind Drop-By Sequence of Events and told Biden to enter the Roosevelt Room and say hello to participants. The strip of paper told him to sit down. You take your seat, it instructed. The note then told the president to speak once reporters had been brought into the room. You give brief comments for 2 minutes. After the reporters departed, Biden was told to speak to some of those present at the meeting. You ask Liz Shuler, President AFL-CIO, a question, and then you thank participants and you depart. The meeting went down without further incident, but afterwards, eagle-eyed photographers quickly realized what the president had revealed. Biden had continued to use such notes throughout his presidency, and they are sometimes handed to him during very public events. He had a yellow dot below his mouth, but he carried on talking. He was then handed a note prompting him to wipe his chin. Oh my goodness. He can't even wipe himself. He has to be told when to wipe himself. That's like incontinence. And I'm not making fun. I'm not being funny, and I'm not making fun. He doesn't even know when to wipe himself. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike. What is? I mean, this. Are you not frightened by this?
Oh, it is frightening. I mean, this is worse than what happened when after Woodrow Wilson had his stroke. You know.
Yeah. This is worse because we weren't alive then. You know. I mean, we're alive. We're living through this now, so it's worse.
It is worse, and think about this with Woodrow Wilson, though. You know, he has his stroke, and his wife basically was running the government at that time.
Correct.
After he had, at least there was a chain of command then. I mean, and now there's not. You know, I mean, you're right to be worried about. Okay, Putin and who's to say what's wrong, what's up with Putin? Because I'm hearing that he may be sick as well, and different things about that. But we can argue about that at another time. The Kremlin and Xi and hell, even what's his name, the little Kim down in North Korea. You know.
Yeah.
No wonder Kim is feeling like I can start firing missiles again. I can start testing my missile program again. You know.
Well, what do you blame them? I mean, he doesn't even know when to wipe himself. He doesn't know when to walk into a room. He has to be told.
That's right, and that's scary. I mean, you can make arguments about conspiracy theories with FDR, but at least FDR had his faculties about him at that point that he knew.
Yeah.
Come into a room and sit down and how who to call on in terms of the press and this, that, and the other. At least FDR knew that stuff.
I mean, this is what this event yesterday. This is 25th Amendment time. He is incompetent. Kamala Harris is, and as far as I'm concerned, she may be committing a crime by allowing this security disaster to continue. It's her job to step up and do something about this.
Right, and here's the thing about this. If she doesn't come up with the 25th Amendment, you're right, she could be committing a crime. As much as we'd like to see him impeached, that could be an impeachable offense on her part if she doesn't come up with the 25th Amendment.
I agree. I mean, this is not only is it elder abuse, which is pretty severe crime, certainly here in Florida, but beyond elder abuse, this is a major national security concern. We're in day. Hey, Mike in Louisiana, thank you for your call. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey there, Brian. It's Ben from Boca.
Hey, Ben.
So, just to piggyback what you started off with about Biden, you know, it is very sobering to see, you know, this note card and how bad it really is. But it's not really revealing anything we didn't know already. I mean, it's terrible. It's very terrible to see this. But, you know, when Joe Biden speaks, we know the words coming out of his mouth aren't generated.
No, that's a typical Republican cop-out. You know, like, well, we already know this, so let's talk about the gun grab. This country is less safe than it ever has been. If there was a 9/11 type event today, this government would not be able to respond. We do not have a functioning leader.
Yeah, but we knew that a month ago.
So what do you want to do? You want to talk about what am I supposed to do then? Oh well, we know what do we know? What do we not know about? It's noteworthy.
Yeah, it's noteworthy, and so it's certainly, you know.
What issue is in the news that we don't know about? Okay. So as opposed to discussing right now the greatest national security risk this country has ever faced, Joe Biden here with the note cards, you want to talk about verbiage buried in a bill that's hundreds, if not thousands, of pages long. Okay, so you want to bury your head in the sand. What you want to do is bury your head in the sand.
It's 80 pages long. It's not thousands. I told
Okay, so you want to bury your head in the pages of a bill so that you don't have to deal with the dangers.
No, I just don't want to rehash something that we already knew.
This is not rehashing. This was yesterday. All right, tell me what's in the bill that is more pressing than the greatest security risk that we've ever faced.
So they're changing the definitions of things like manufacturer, where now anyone who assembles like an upper assembly is now can be considered a manufacturer. They're changing words to now make it where future legislation will be able to build on top of this, so they can serialize all parts of the gun. So the barrels, you get a barrel, you have to get registered, or you have to go to get a background check. If you want to get like a stock, you can get a background check. I'm just simply saying it's laying the groundwork for a next bill to come along to build off these definitions and do something that's a lot more.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm not excited and falling asleep here at the beginning of the program. I'm not saying that the gun bill is. Excuse me. I'm not saying that the gun bills are not important, and I'm going to talk about this great Supreme Court that President Trump gave us in a little bit, and their ruling yesterday. But when we have this country right now, this morning, has never been at this level of security risk. You know that I don't know. They don't use the Homeland doesn't use that color-coded thing anymore. If this, we are in whatever the worst DEFCON is, whatever the worst security state we're in it. We're in it. Whatever the worst security, and that's crazy, you know. And why are we in this? Because we have a press, and we have a government, and we have people like you who don't want to talk about the greatest security threat in the history of the United States of America. We've got a president that had to be told to wipe his mouth. He doesn't even know when to wipe himself.
Do you think the intelligence agencies in China aren't already aware of this? And the intelligence agencies
if I'm aware of it, they are. They're if we're yeah.
So it's nothing new to them. I mean,
Oh, it's nothing new. All right, let's get back to the verbiage of the bill. All right, thanks for your call. Oh my goodness, what a snooze fest that guy is. That is one of the things that Republicans, prior to Trump coming down the escalator, that's the kind of thing Republicans did that made them losers. Oh, we already know that. You know, like I give you an example. With the Colbert 7, the Stephen Colbert Capitol breach a week ago. Oh, nothing's going to happen to them, so let's not talk about it. I don't subscribe to that loser Newt Gingrich era, 1995 Republican talking point. Oh, nothing's going to happen, so let's not talk about it. Oh, we already knew this. Go back to Loserville, okay? It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian. Back after this.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Hi, this is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. If you call or text me on my cell phone, I will analyze your home and your FPL bill over the phone, and I can quote you on insulation, ducts, and radiant barrier. Call me now, and I'll show you how to save up to 30 to 40% on your electric bill this month and for every month from here till eternity. 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. Call now, get up to 50% off, and receive an additional $500 on over 2,000 square feet of radiant barrier, an additional $1,000 off on 4,000 square feet of radiant barrier. Call or text me now, 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. Or you can find me on the web at cutmykilowatts.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, 25 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Okay, just going to talk about this issue briefly. This business about the e-cigarettes, the Juul e-cigarettes, Sean Hannity, and this nicotine thing. I am not a smoker. I have never been a smoker, although I come from a family of smokers, let me tell you. A lot of people in my family smoke their entire lives. Here's the headline. What about drugs and cigarettes? Sean Hannity slams FDA and Joe Biden for the banning of the sale of Juul e-cigarettes despite not cracking down on heroin and cocaine use. But Hannity doesn't vape live on the air as promised. Following the FDA's ban on Juul products, Fox News host Sean Hannity vowed that he would smoke his e-cig on the air and wait to get arrested. On Thursday's show, Hannity stopped short of smoking a Juul on the air after he learned the ban didn't go into effect until Wednesday. Hannity slammed the Biden administration over the decision and questioned why the $12 billion cigarette industry was allowed to continue operating. The ban forbids the sale of Juul products but does not ban personal use. I don't quite get that. Pam Bondi was his guest. She was worried teenagers would get the markets on the black. They would get the black market laced with fentanyl. Hannity found the notion scary. Told Biden to secure the border. Okay. This is the thing, okay, about the e-cigarettes and cigarettes. Cigarette smoke. Sean Hannity is a smoker. I mean, he's a hardcore addict, and I guess he's gone to the e-cigarettes to try to get off his smoking. And where our studio used to be, our old studio location in Coral Springs was in an office building, and the exit for the studio door outside was in the smoking area. And I would walk through that cloud of smoke, and I felt like I had smoked a pack. And then there was a transition over the years to the e-cigarettes, and I'd go out there, and they were all using the e-cigarettes. And I got to tell you, when people are smoking e-cigarettes, it just seems to me to be a bunch of vapor mist. No big deal. I don't mind that. I remember when I was a kid in the 70s in particular. Do you remember what it used to be like when people could smoke on airplanes? Oh, my goodness. You don't realize it at the time because that's just the way the world was. But the planes were filled with smoke, and smokers had to go to the back of the plane, and if you ever had to use the restroom, you had to go through it, and it was like you would choke. Every car you got into had an ashtray in it, right? They don't even sell cars with ashtrays really anymore, do they? Is that like a specialty item you have to have added on, a custom job? And everywhere you went, people would smoke, in restaurants and everywhere. And, it was crazy. And then in the 90s, a lot of regulation came in, but there was a campaign called Truth. It was a fake campaign where they had a bunch of kids wanting to know the truth about tobacco, some big thing. And they began shaming smokers, and very, very few people smoke today compared to what it used to be like. I remember this Seminole Indian Reservation smoke shop, Orange Drive, Griffin Road area. This is before, and they had like the small casino that they used to have, and they would have these smoke shops. There used to be one, and I don't know if it's still there, on 441 and Davie Boulevard. The Seminoles had a smoke shop there, and it was drive-through. The lines of cars would be around the block, people buying the tax-free cartons of cigarettes from the Seminole Indians. Remember those days? And smoking is just a really tiny percentage of the population as compared to what it once was. They've shamed them, humiliated smokers. They had a lot of laws restricting where you could smoke. and all of these things. And as far as I'm concerned, the e-cigarettes are a great alternative to smoking. But I think there is something in play with the tobacco companies and this restriction, because what's going on here is the Biden administration wants the amount of nicotine reduced in cigarettes. So they think that'll wean people off. I think that'll just make people smoke more. They'll smoke more cigarettes to get more nicotine. Like if you need caffeine, you drink more coffee, right? That's what I do. I need more caffeine, I drink more coffee. They're actually going to increase the number of people, or the amount that people are smoking, because they're going to smoke more cigarettes to get more nicotine. But marijuana, I'm not talking about CBD, I'm talking about marijuana is legal all over this country now. And this is what I believe is going on. I believe Big Tobacco has been planning for many years to make a transition from Big Tobacco to Big Marijuana. I think the tobacco companies want to transition into selling, as opposed to tobacco cigarettes, they want to sell marijuana cigarettes, joints, but sell them in packs like you get now of cigarettes. And I think there's a transition to that going on. The e-cigarettes, I don't know why they got this war against the e-cigarettes. They blame it on kids. I remember when I was a kid, they had the vending machines for cigarettes. They used to be in all the diners, all the restaurants, all the places. You could go anywhere and put in a couple of quarters and get a pack of cigarettes. I didn't do it because I wasn't a smoker. Remember those? But no, the liberals out there have been pushing to legalize marijuana for a long time with great success, and they're having more and more success as time goes by. And we will see a time when Big Tobacco becomes Big Marijuana. Yeah, that's true. And marijuana, smoking marijuana has all the negative health impacts of smoking cigarettes, right? Everything, because you're still bringing the smoke into your lungs. And they're just, tobacco really, you can't smoke in office buildings anymore. When I first started working in radio, everyone smoked. I never did, okay? And there was one guy in particular, he was a good guy, who died a few years ago of lung cancer. This guy smoked more than I've seen anyone smoke. He smoked more than the Marlboro Man. And he would tell me all the time, Brian, you need to start smoking. It'll make your voice deeper for the radio. And I said, no way, man. And I remember radio stations were filled. You go into the radio studio, there'd be overflowing ashtrays, of cigarettes. And I remember there was this one guy that I worked at a radio station with, and he was a big time smoker. And on the microphone, there's like a foam cover that goes on top of microphones, and it's to stop the popping of the pea sound. If you don't have it on there, peas make a loud pop into the mic because of the air you blow out hits the mic, and I call it a pea popper. People call them different things. And I changed I sometimes call it a mic cozy. I changed the pea popper, the mic cozy. I took it off to put on a new one. And in the center of the microphone, it was all brown like tar. It was brown like tar. And I had realized that was, everybody else at the radio station pretty much smoked. But me, and we were, using the same microphone. And even though we had the different cozy on, that was coming out of their breath into the mic. It had actually stained the mic with the tar of the cigarettes. And from that day forward, I started using my own microphone. I do not use the community mic at the studios. I use my own microphone always. And because of that, and that was a long time ago. So, this thing about going against smoking, it's a big scheme for the marijuana, because the marijuana is where the money is. Now, with that being said, it is open phones. I don't want to overload the phones with our drug-addicted marijuana callers and turn this into a marijuana show. But that's what's going on here. And so far as Sean Hannity, smoking his e-cigarette. He made a big deal about smoking the Juul on the air. So, you know, I expect some response to Hannity. If he doesn't do it, why? Maybe it's illegal to do it on television. I do not know. All right, let's. If you see outtakes, sometimes I've seen outtakes from Sean Hannity's television show, and he tokes up during the breaks. I guess with the e-cigarettes these days, but it used to be with the regular cigarettes, and you'll see smoke or vapor, whatever comes out of those things, in the studio. If you ever see outtakes of him. All right, you are welcome to call in. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE1. It is open phones on Fridays at 1-888-465-2631, 888-GO-CANE1. Back after this.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing.
Steve Kane Show.
And building restoration. If you have
Hold on.
noticed any water stains on your ceiling or
Steve Kane Show, hold on.
older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Attention seniors, have you protected you and your family from financial ruin? You are invited to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust Workshop. Make sure you and your family are properly protected, even if you already have a trust. Learn how to avoid losing an inheritance to predators like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and
Steve Kane Show.
IRS. Learn how to prevent running out
Hold
of
on.
money before you run out of life, and learn how to avoid being forced to spend down your assets. You will also learn how to avoid nursing home seizure of your assets. This free Living Trust Workshop with Attorney Barry Siegel is Tuesday, June 28th at 2 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Del Rey. Seating is limited, so reserve your seat for this free estate planning workshop. Call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. That's 1-855-352-3782. 855-352-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. 1-888-GO-CANE1 is our number. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mark from Pompano.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, how you doing, Brian? Yeah, it's an interesting concept, going from cigarettes to marijuana with the industry. But personally, I think there's still way too many people smoking after all the, I remember that truth movement and stuff. I think you still have way too many people smoking. I would think that with the awareness and like that, there'd be fewer people than there are.
No, it's you know, it's their choice. It's America.
Yeah, well, I'm all for them banning it in public places. I remember those days when you go into Denny's and like that, and you have that stench in the air from people smoking. And I'm glad they ended all of that. I really am. I wish there were fewer people still smoking because you smell it outside and like that, and you know.
Yeah, well, it's still America. I mean, it's America. You know, and you know, it's so interesting. They're looking to do all these restrictions, the Biden administration, on e-cigarettes and tobacco, but they're telling us that your body, my choice. You know, my body, my choice with Roe v. Wade. Well, if it's my body, my choice, why can I not smoke whatever kind of nicotine I want and have an e-cigarette if I want? If it's my body, my choice. If an underage child can go and have an abortion without parental consent, why can't they smoke e-cigarettes?
Yeah, that's it. That's another good example, you know. Personally, I think the e-cigs are just, I think that's bad too, because that just keeps people addicted, you know. I don't see where that's a really good alternative. I mean, just
listen, tobacco's part of America. If people want to do it, that's fine with me. I don't smoke, but, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm not for making it illegal or anything. I mean, but I don't think they should do it in public places like office buildings and like that. You know, and keep up the public awareness because it is bad for your health. Yeah, if people want to smoke it, look, that's up to them. You know, but it's not a good thing. thing, but it's basically a health thing.
Well, lots of things are not a good thing. Lots of things are not a good thing. Remember when in New York they started regulating the size of sodas you could have? They regulate sugar. Our food is mostly processed. That's not good. Lots of things are not healthy. It's not up to the government.
Louisiana?
Yes, Louisiana.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What's on your mind?
I'm not calling. I want to know something I've been wanting to ask you. Did Steve Kane originally start the show, or is this your show?
Well, the Steve Kane Show has been on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio. Okay? I am 51 years old. Do you believe that I started this show when I was 6?
I didn't ask. I'm just wondering until you took over for him.
Well, I wouldn't say I've taken over. Steve and I have worked together for 30 years, maybe 31. And over the years, I've always pretty much, since I started working with Steve, been on the air. And over the years, I've been on the air more and more and more and more. Yeah, and Steve is I wouldn't say semi-retired, but he's semi-retired to a certain extent.
And one other thing too, but the comment about the cigarettes, the e-cigarettes and all that. I feel like this. I don't smoke. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. That's fine. But like I say, I don't really smoke it in public places. But that's what you want to do, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But is your life?
Well, as a Democrat, my body, my choice. Right? My body, my choice. And it seems like, Democrats are very selective about my body, my choice.
Hey, bro.
It's either you have the choice to do what you want to do with your body or you don't. And it seems like the My Body, My Choice crowd are telling people what to do with their bodies all the time.
What people to do with their bodies?
They no, the whole COVID, everything with COVID, they were telling us what to do with our bodies. That No. There were depending on what you do for a living. They would tell you they were telling you to cover up your mouth. They're telling you can't fly without a mask. There are certain things where the government does require you to get the vaccine. Now Biden is telling people that they don't have the right to consume as much nicotine as they choose in a cigarette, and that these Juul cigarettes, they can't consume those either.
But it's like that what you just said. Like certain hospitals, they require that their employees have certain vaccines. So what's wrong with that? Nobody was complaining before. Now that he said,
well, it's an inconsistency with Democrats. Listen, Roe v. Wade is about to be overturned by the Supreme Court, and I'm hearing Democrats from Biden all the way down talk about my body, my choice. You can't tell someone what to do with their body, and all the Democrats do are tell you what to do with your body. Right now, they're telling you can't use Juul cigarettes, and you can't consume the amount of nicotine you choose in a cigarette.
Yeah. Okay. Then two. Okay. What's the deal with everybody want pardons now? Everybody wanted pardons in the J6, January 6th hearing. Everybody wanted pardons.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about.
I have no idea.
You know.
No, I don't. Tell me. Who wants pardons?
God, I can't think. God dog, I can't think of it again.
All right. Well, when you start thinking, call back. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Steven in Colorado.
Yes.
I just wanted to call in and say that I understand why they are passing this legislation here. The teenage vaping has certainly got out of hand. I graduated high school a couple years ago myself, but it's certainly gotten out out of hand.
What's gotten out of hand? What has gotten out of hand?
The teenage vaping. I understand.
The teenage vaping. When I went to high school, this will sound crazy to some people out there, but I think a lot of people had this at their school. When I went to high school, there was a student smoking section at the school, and it was official, by the way. This wasn't like something the kids just did. There was an officially sanctioned, designated student smoking area. It was outside by the bus loop in my high school. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to give a call and just put my opinion out there and say that it's kind
of... Here you're calling me from... This is bizarre. You're calling me from Colorado and telling me... Well, that's okay. That's okay. We're big in Colorado. We got a lot of listeners in Colorado. You're calling me from Colorado, telling me that teenagers smoking, I guess it's like, it's not smoking, it's like, e-cigarettes, it's like water vapor or something. That's a problem. But they have legalized marijuana in your state. And you're telling me that so which is a bigger problem, the legalized marijuana or the smoking water vapor?
Oh, well, it's both things.
Both are equal? You're telling me that smoking water vapor from an e-cigarette is equal to legalizing marijuana? In Colorado, the illegal marijuana business has skyrocketed because the legal marijuana is so expensive due to the taxation that the street-level marijuana dealers are making a killing in volume. And how do you prove you've got legal or illegal marijuana?
Well, out here they're supposed to have little, I don't know.
A receipt? Oh, so I got a receipt. No, this is legal weed, officer. Here's my receipt. I mean, come on. And I've read a lot of stories that aren't publicized too much anymore, but in the first year after marijuana was legalized in Colorado, there was a lot of stories about traffic problems there. People driving 15 miles an hour on the highway and stuff. A lot of traffic accidents that are marijuana related, et cetera, et cetera. How can you have an administration outlawing cigarettes and e-cigarettes? They're giving crack pipes to crackheads, and they're giving marijuana to people.
It's obscene.
And absurd, yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say as well, before you cut me off here, that I think that now is the time for everybody to take to Etsy and buy tobacco seed before the government cracks down on it and starts reducing.
Have you ever smelled tobacco? What it looks like when it's growing? Let me tell you, if my neighbor started smoking tobacco, I'd be calling the HOA. It stinks. It stinks. Do you grow your own tobacco?
Not at the moment, no, but I have before.
How much tobacco would I have to plant in my backyard for a pack of cigarettes?
Probably not as much as you would expect. Probably one plant could make close to what would be considered a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Smoke a pack a day, that's not very sustainable. You'd have to have a field.
Yeah, exactly. You'd have to have a field. That's like stupid. What do you have, an Etsy shop or something where you sell tobacco seeds?
Oh, no. Not myself, but I was just putting the word out there for all the smokers that...
I don't know if I would do that. I mean, I don't know. How do you know they're real tobacco seeds? And how would you plant? I don't even know. Can you grow tobacco in Florida? Really?
Tobacco grows like a weed anywhere. Like out here in Colorado, it doesn't grow as well, but anywhere in the South, it's prolific. It'll grow like...
Okay. Yeah, and tobacco, I've not seen a tobacco plant out and about since I was a kid. So my perspective is from a child. I was little. But I remember the plant being pretty high.
Yeah.
Like corn.
Yeah, they get pretty big.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, I got to run. Take care. Well, we're turning into a farming show today and garden talk. We'll be back.
Suffer from neuropathy, back pain, shoulder pain, or osteoarthritis? Stop the suffering and stop the pain. Call Lighthouse
Interesting
Medical
caller. No, he's
Center,
nice.
754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation when you mention you heard them on the radio. 754-222-6642 or online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general
What's up?
Contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration.
Yeah, but they want to make it where you don't have to do that. Is what I'm saying. They want to make it where you can buy a pack at the gas station.
Run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
This is Megan from Texas.
All right, Megan from Texas. What's up?
Oh, I'm just interested that the potato in chief is using a cheat sheet and being told when to wipe his mouth, and people are talking about tobacco. I guess I'm just stumped because we have this pathetic thing in the White House that I feel bad for him. I get very angry at the news media acting like this is a joke. You know, on Fox News, there's a guy on Fox News that I really enjoy, Joe Concha. I like Joe Concha, and they got him on making a joke about it. This is not funny. If there was an attack on America, there's no chain of command to respond, and this cheat sheet yesterday, there's been leaked cheat sheets before. This one, though, was more detailed. Walk into the room, sit down, look left, look right, leave then. There's not been a cheat sheet leaked that was this specific, which means he's suffering from an incredible amount of cognitive decline. Oh, you can see that. You can see that every day. I mean, I'm sorry. He can't ride a bicycle. He can't finish a sentence. Half the words he says are slurred. And now this kind of cheat sheet. If President Trump had a piece of paper with even one word on it in his hand, this would be mainstream media news. It would be everywhere.
Yeah, and, you know, I believe that Kamala Harris is taking part in, one, elder abuse with Joe Biden, but also that Kamala Harris is not living up to her legal requirements to step in with the 25th Amendment. This is very dangerous right now. It's not funny. It's not cute. It's not some punchline. We are in danger.
And the only ones really laughing about this, other than the mainstream media, like you said earlier, is Kim Jong-un, Putin, China.
Correct.
I'm sure they're all having a great time with it.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
Scary. It's actually scary. But
I mean, you know, the Republican, you know, Mitch McConnell and the Republicans, what they really need to do is call on him to resign. And I know Kamala Harris, you know, is you know, not the brightest bulb, but at least she's coherent. I mean, we don't have a choice. She's better than him at this stage.
At this point, anybody is better than...
See, I believe what happened, I believe the withdrawal of Afghanistan happened the way it did because he had an Alzheimer's moment and he had to prove to everybody that he wears the big boy pants, is in charge, and started shouting out orders that they were forced to obey. And look what that did. And the Afghan withdrawal, as disastrous as that was, is why Putin, before he was prepared to do it, invaded Ukraine because he knew now was the time.
Exactly, and watch, Taiwan will not be far behind, and I feel for them. Because right now, if anybody
calls out for the help of America, we can't help them.
We can't even get help ourselves. If 9/11 happened today, the government would not be able to respond. There's no chain of command outside the president that can give orders to the military. So the military would go rogue. And the different branches aren't really connected as well as people would think.
No, it's pathetic. My dad was a World War II veteran, and I look at what America's become now under this potato regime, and I actually get...
Why do you say potato? Why do you call Joe Biden a potato? What does that mean?
He's like a half-baked potato. That's the nicest thing I can call him.
Oh, okay.
He's just not there. He's just... I've called him other things, but I'll keep it clean.
Okay.
But, you know, Grandpa in Chief, I don't know, but he's just... I feel bad. He needs to be in a nursing home. I believe he has dementia.
Yeah, and there have been people around him who say that he does wear adult diapers, and they can tell from the smell. Yeah, and you see this cheat sheet yesterday, and I'm not making. Australia is awesome. I watch it all the time on YouTube. They're very good. They're very good. And you know what else is good is the Australian version of 60 Minutes.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, check that out. It's very good.
Watch Rebel News, so...
Yeah, they're good, too, in Canada. All right, take care. Thanks so much. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
84, the big lie was 84...
Yeah. He wasn't this bad then. And this card, if you look at this... I was telling the last caller, Richie, there have been... a couple of other times where we've seen the note cards leaked, none that were this detailed on what to do. This one, this is a major decline since the last leaked note card.
In other words, they're not just, this is, we elected, and he's getting worse every day, and to the point where they're worried about January 6th.
Yeah.
Crap hearing. Let me tell you what I did yesterday real fast. I put on Neil Cavuto, and I swear to God that he had that hearing on, and he was putting his little geeky comments. They took a 10-minute research. He hated Trump so much. This guy is he's a dirtbag, Cavuto. I can't stomach him. He's hated Trump, and he gives legitimacy to this crap.
You know, I don't know what Fox News was doing yesterday with this decision to run the January 6th hearings.
5 o'clock, they changed. They got off of it because the 5 came on.
Yeah, but that's a highly rated show. But they ran those hearings all day. I thought the day would have centered around the Supreme Court.
Disgusting here, man. I'm telling you, and it's really absolutely absurd what's going on in this country. And the other thing I want to say to you is you mentioned in the past you're not crazy about Marco Rubio. I'm watching TV last night. The biggest ad that's going on TV is I was a sheriff and I don't believe in defunding the police. It's the black Democrat running.
Yeah, and what's her name? Yeah, Val. Is it Jennings or Demi? You know that woman. You know, I see her ad. It's on every commercial break in Florida. She's running for the Senate. She tries to make her sound like she's trying to present herself as a Republican. The ad's got a red background. She never says she's a Democrat, and she says defunding the police is stupid. She was the police chief up in Orlando, and she's one of these Soros people.
Was she was on that committee to impeach President Trump.
Correct. She was appointed by Pelosi to the impeachment committee. Correct.
She had a big mouth, and anybody in Florida knows that her and little of her.
But you know what though, but it's an interesting though that if you watch the ad next time you see it, it's on every 3 minutes. She tries to make viewers think she's a black Republican.
I know, and do you know how much money is being dumped in from California and all?
Well, that's right. That's why you got to be careful. See, that's what these Democrats do. It's all about propaganda. Listen, I got a break. It's time for the top of the hour. We'll We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. It's the Steve Kane Show.
This is the Talk of South Florida, 95.3, 96.9, AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG Live station.
I checked the temperature this morning before I left. The high today is going to be almost 90 degrees here in South Florida. The hot weather, it's already here, and it's only going to get hotter. On the line from Cut My Kilowatts, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. He's going to tell you how he can save you big money on your electric bill.
We're facing the onslaught of summer here, and a lot of people are going to be noticing that, if they haven't noticed already, that their air conditioner is just running non-stop, fighting to keep the house cool. A lot of times the air conditioner can't even keep up with the heat gain. You know, like you'll have the temperature set in your house at 74, you'll look at the thermostat, it'll be at 76 or 77 or even 78.
The Steve Kane Show.
High as 80. So what we do is cutmykilowatts.com, and we've been doing radiant barrier in South Florida for 10 years. I mean, we did Steve Kane's house probably 10 years ago when I first started doing this in South Florida. Radiant barrier stops the heat gain in the house, lowers the temperature in the attic 30 to 40 degrees, literally cuts the AC runtime in half, and does a lot of money.
Let's explain to people what radiant. Be right back, guys.
We have known Scott from Cut My Kilowatts for well over a decade. He's with us every summer here on the Steve Kane Show. In the heat of the summer, the attic, how hot does an attic get during the summer, Scott?
It can get, depending on what kind of roof it has, with a shingle or tile, shingle being the hottest, 140, 150, even 160 degrees.
Yeah, and what that does is that 150, 160 degree heat in your attic makes your ceiling hot, and of course your air conditioning ducts are in your ceiling.
Steve Kane Show.
It heats them up, and it makes your air conditioner work longer, harder, causing your electric bill going up, struggling to keep your house cool. So Scott has the radiant barrier. So tell people what radiant barrier is and how it works.
Radiant barrier is like a big aluminum foil tarp. It goes on the underside on the roof deck below the trusses, so there's an air gap so it doesn't damage the roof. And it basically just turns the heat wave that comes down off the roof around and pushes it back up out the roof. So it makes your roof function like a white shingle reflective roof. You know, you see those white roofs on people's houses. They put them on because it cuts their electric bill 25-30%. Same thing with radiant barrier. You put it in on the underside of your roof deck. You know, it's like $1 a square foot. I mean, you've got a special.
Were you trying to hit the top of the
hour? You additional 500 off. So.
Nah, I was going to, but then I changed my mind. But I mean, because of the delay, it's a problem. Because I'm 20 seconds ahead of you. Is this? I got a clock on my iPad that has seconds on it. I'll come compare it to yours later.
I use an app called Clocks, and it gives me regular digital clocks, and regular dial clocks, and digital clocks.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, we got to be on the same time, but I'm going to have to cut out however long the delay is early. And I'm more worried about when we come back. That's where it's going to be hairy because I can't, the timing's off.
I said to what's his name yesterday, Bumpers, that he almost
He
got sick because he doesn't want to hear that word. You know, something to be able to match up.
We'll figure it out.
I know.
All right, Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, have a great day. We will talk later in the week.
We're talking some tech things we got to figure out here. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dallin Delray. Good morning, Brian.
Oh, is this Liberal Al?
Liberal Al, yes.
Okay, Liberal Al. What's up?
Well, the invasion of Jeff Clark's home for trying to perpetrate
Oh, invasion. I thought, when you said invasion, I thought you were going to talk about an invasion from our southern border that is larger than the invasion of Texas during the War of Texan Independence. What that invasion? Why not? Why does that more than 1 million have come across the border? Well, we're not talking about that. That's what it has to do with it. This is really okay. Before I get into the issues, I'm going to just say this. I'm just going to say this, and it's a continuation of yesterday. Today's show, if you listen, it's very, very interesting what's going on here. Very interesting what's going on here in the last hour. And this is my fault. I let this happen. This show on Fridays, we call it Open Phones. And the other days of the week are not. Although sometimes we let people bring other things up because, you know, we know what we're doing here and we know what topics are interesting, hot, and relevant and that the audience would be interested in. But yesterday's show is becoming a continuation. Today's show is becoming a continuation of yesterday's show. And here's what I mean by that. I had to do something we've not done in a long time on this program. I had to give someone a lifetime ban from the program, Al from Coral Springs. And in the last hour, I started the show with something that I think is the greatest danger to America and the world today. And this is that cheat sheet that Joe Biden had yesterday. And the danger that it poses. And then what happens? I go to the phones and the callers immediately, liberals and never-Trumpers. That's who I talked to in the first hour, except the lady from Texas. The other callers were Democrats and never-Trumper Republicans. And what they did is they used the open phone day of the show, which is on Fridays, to get the discussion going where they want it to go. To get us off the threat that this country faces. And I say the world faces because Ukraine happened because of him and his incompetence. Afghanistan happened because of his mental failures. And Taiwan may be next. And who knows what could happen in between. And these never-Trumpers and these Democrats want us to talk about anything other than the real problems that this country is facing. I'm not saying that we're going to make this change at this point, but we cannot allow these Democrats to hijack the agenda of the program and the Open Phone Friday privilege. See, this is what happens with Democrats. You give these never-Trumpers and these leftist a privilege, and what do? They abuse it. They take advantage of it. We may have to discontinue the open phone day of the show. And it's my fault. Hey, listen, it is my job to keep things on track, keep things on topic, and I failed in that in the first hour a little bit by letting these never-Trumpers and these Democrat losers hijack us in other directions other than we wanted to go in. But there's big problems going on out there. You know, Liz Cheney, her campaign is trying to get Democrats in Wyoming to go and register as Republicans so they can vote for her in the August primary in Wyoming. The never-Trumpers and the Democrats are in trouble. I'm going to play a clip from Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, who's been a never-Trumper since President Trump came down the escalator, went way over the line this week. I'm going to play you this. He had some comments about President Trump. But we're not going to let never-Trumpers and we're not going to let Democrats hijack the news cycle on this program. It's just not going to happen. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And I'll tell you something. Liberal Al from Coral Springs yesterday, that's a lifetime ban. And now that I'm in the banning mode, I am not opposed to banning other people or greatly reducing their participation on the phones. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Come on. Conservative Doug. Well, I would like to mention this cheat sheet that he had. You know, it's all, we all know he's mentally not capable of the presidency, but I'm thinking that, you say Kamala Harris is better, maybe she is, but I'm thinking it might be like we got rid of Cuomo and now the governor they have in there is worse than Cuomo. So we're screwed. You know, I think once we take over Congress, got to figure out a way to impeach both of them and get somebody else in to or offer Joe Biden an alternative. Get rid of Kamala Harris, and we won't.
Well, here, okay, appreciate the call. Listen. This is what it's been done before. It was done to Richard Nixon. This is what needs to happen, in my opinion. I believe that both Joe Biden and the Vice President, Kamala, should be impeached and removed from office. But we don't want to do this until we take over in November. Okay, now I'm going to go through this story that I started with, and I'm going to tell you what I mean by this, because I really truly mean this. And they did it with Nixon. They first got rid of the vice president, Spiro Agnew, and then they got rid of Nixon. So really, Kamala Harris, it has got to be. I'm not a lawyer. You guys would have to talk to Mark Levin about this, because I'm not an attorney. But in my view, Kamala Harris is committing some type of crime by allowing this to go on. Listen to this. Joe Biden on Thursday, okay, when he had his press conference, let me pull up the card. This just was frightening beyond imagination. He gave a press conference. He held up a note card with some of the most detailed directions I've ever seen. In the news, they're laughing about it. They're calling it a cheat sheet. He held up a card. On the top it says, "The President." And then there's a title that is underlined that says, "Offshore Wind Drop by Sequence of Events." And then there are steps for him to handle this meeting with. 1, you enter the Roosevelt Room and say hello to participants. 2, you take your seat. And anytime they say you, it is in bold print in all capitals. Next, press enters. Next, you give brief comments, 2 minutes. Next, press departs. Next, you ask Liz Shuler, President AFL-CIO, a question. You thank participants. Finally, you depart. He can't even walk into the room and walk out of it without being directed. That is a danger to this country and to the world. And Kamala is not stepping in and doing her constitutional duty and invoking the 25th Amendment. They both should be impeached. And this isn't political. It's not just because I don't like their policies. It's because we do not have a functioning president right now. And that is dangerous. And I find it frightening. Good morning. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Jeff from...
Yes, Jeff.
So that thing that's really crazy is they have a press secretary who keeps answer off-the-cuff comments, and we have a president that needs like a note card to tell him to sit down. Like, so embarrassing. And, like, what you're saying about Kamala Harris, she has a duty to step up.
That's right.
And do something about it. And I don't know why she isn't. I think she's afraid to step into the role because she knows that she's not up to it.
Well, yeah, I think when she started getting the security briefings, I mean, she wasn't in the Senate very long when she ran. I can't remember how long offhand, but she was not in the Senate very long. And so when she started getting the press briefings and she sees what's really involved, it probably is frightening. But she still has a job to do. And this note card yesterday, I was telling Richie, there have been, this is the third time, maybe fourth, but I think the third time the note cards have been revealed. The previous note cards were not like this. The previous note cards were like call on this person, call on that person by name. It wasn't walk in, sit down, stand up, walk out, enter room. It wasn't this detailed. And this tells me that he's had a major, there's been an incident with this guy. His cognitive decline has gotten a lot worse than it was just a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Well, it explains why he doesn't do any open press conferences for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be terrible.
Well, anytime he does, that's when the Easter Bunny or his daughter or his wife grab him by the hand and get him out of there. because they know how far gone he really is, because they're very close to him in private. So they know how far gone he really is, and they're frightened by it.
But that's all I got to add.
Okay, well, I appreciate the call. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's a toll-free call. Okay, now, I want to talk about this Supreme Court ruling yesterday. Ron Perlman, the actor, I tell you, Ron Perlman. I did like Ron Perlman in Sons of Anarchy. I will say that. But otherwise, he would not have been my first casting. I mean, he's ugly as hell. I don't know, how this guy gets roles. But anyway, Ron Perlman was confronted by angry social media users after he voiced his opinion following Thursday's Supreme Court 6-3 ruling, striking down the century-old New York state law which restricted who could obtain a permit to carry a gun in public. Ron Perlman tweeted, "The latest Supreme Court decision on firearms neglects to say the one thing that they actually mean to say, for whites only." The social media post received thousands of likes, comments, and retweets before Perlman deleted his words less than 30 minutes later. The case, the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin, was the first major Second Amendment case to come before the court in more than a decade. This is really an amazing thing, because the way it worked in New York, there are people that have concealed weapon permits, and they're very difficult to get. Sean Hannity has one. And you have to prove that your life is in danger to the point that you need to have a concealed weapons permit. That is a very difficult thing to prove. I just can't say, well, I'm on the radio and I'm not safe. I would have to prove it. And I've had threats from people. Everyone that does this line of work has had threats from people. The thing about threats is people don't make threats typically in ways that is documented, because they don't want evidence around. So they mostly do it in private. And they communicate. I'm not going to tell you how they do it, because I don't want to give people tips. But they don't write you a letter or send you an email typically. Although I have had those, they don't typically do that. So if someone threatens my life, which has happened on unfortunately too many occasions, liberal listeners to this program, how do I go to the state officials in New York and prove that if I don't have a letter? You can't. So no permit for me. And, so far as proving that you need to have a weapon to protect yourself, I think just living in New York City is proof enough. It's high crime. And I'm going to tell you something. When New Yorkers, and I know this affects other states too, but the focus is on New York. When New Yorkers start carrying in large numbers, you're going to see a major drop in crime. Here in Florida, we don't have crime problems like they have in New York, even in big cities like Miami. Why? Because you never know who's packing in Florida, because we have concealed carry. Now, Governor DeSantis promises before he leaves the governor's mansion, we're going to have constitutional carry, which means unlicensed open carry. And I'm all for that. And when we have open carry in Florida, and you meet me, I'll probably be carrying my Glock 48 probably, because I like the Glock 48, but and it's a light weapon and is a good one. But if New Yorkers, and when I say New Yorkers, I mean New York City residents, take advantage of this ruling and are able to go out en masse and get concealed weapon permits in New York, you are going to see crime reduced greatly. Because, criminals in these gun-free urban centers, these big liberal cities like New York, where you're not allowed to carry a gun except in these extreme circumstances, criminals know that the whole city is unarmed. So they're not afraid to make you a victim. In a place like Florida, you should assume everywhere you are there's armed people. Stores, we don't have a subway, but we have the Metro Rail in Miami, which is an above-the-ground train. Assume at the station there are people with concealed carry permits. That's why you don't see people pushed in front of the trains in Miami like you do in New York, because when someone does that, they know no one around has a weapon to fight back with. You're going to see a drastic drop in crime in New York City if people start getting concealed weapon permits en masse. But, you know, the Democrats today, Mayor Adams, the governor, all the rest, they're pro-criminal. I think Democrats are pro-criminal for a couple of reasons. I know Soros, you know, recruits a lot of these pro-crime politicians, but I think the Democrats are criminals, and they relate to criminals because they're criminals too. And yeah, that's my view. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our first break of the second hour and be right back. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1.
Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental is the official dentist of the Steve Kane Show. For good
Steve Kane
reason,
Show.
He does great work at affordable prices. Listen to a Steve Kane
No.
listener share their
No.
experience with Dr.
No.
Gupta.
No. I don't make me, hey, don't make me stop taking your calls. These liberal trolls.
Makes you feel very comfortable over there and has a beautiful place. And I thank you guys very much. Have a great one.
Dr. Gupta, the official dentist of the Steve Kane Show. Make Dr. Gupta the official dentist of your family. Give him a call. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. Online, BrightonDentalCare.com. Have you checked your cholesterol lately? Knowing your numbers is important, especially when it comes to heart health. Any lab tests now of Coral Springs guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. Their total cholesterol panel, which includes LDL, HDL, and triglycerides, is just $49. No appointment needed, no doctor's order or prescription necessary either, and you will be in and out in 15 minutes or less. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive. That's on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall. If you have any questions, call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Make sure you tell them if you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, we're back. Don't forget, go to mypillow.com, use our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and buy something in support of Mike Lindell. You know, I wake up in the morning with my head on my MyPillow. I'm under my MyPillow sheets. I've got my MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper. I mean, I've got the whole deal. And Mike Lindell and MyPillow need you. This attack on the company with the cancellation of Walmart against MyPillow is hitting them very, very hard. And whatever specials you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. I just want to tell you briefly about what I consider to be a life-changing product from MyPillow. That is the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, which is 30% off with our promo code KANE, and you get a free set of MyPillow sheets as well with your 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. This mattress topper, if you've got an old bumpy mattress, get the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. It will change your life. My wife and I got it because my wife was having back pain. We got it. We woke up the next morning, her back pain was gone. And since we've gotten the MyPillow mattress topper, which has been 14 months now, because I remember we got it April of last year, I wake up when my alarm goes off in the morning. I get a full night's rested sleep. It perfectly regulates your pressure points of your body as well as your body temperature. It's just spectacular. So the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper, 30% off, and a free set of MyPillow sheets when you use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, so this gun control ruling from the Supreme Court, really, President Trump's amazing. You look at what was going on in the news yesterday. What were the two big news stories yesterday? The January 6th Kangaroo Committee hearing and the Supreme Court ruling on guns, which was a spectacular, beautiful ruling. So both of those stories are about Trump. The January 6th hearing is about Trump, and the Supreme Court ruling happened because of Trump. President Trump's first term ended 1.5 years ago, and he is still commanding the news cycle all day, every day. And look at the influence he still has without even being in office right now on our government. You know, President Trump did such a spectacular job with his Supreme Court justices. this ruling yesterday, there's two major rulings coming from this court. We got one yesterday on this New York law. I never dreamed that would happen. And then we're still waiting. Hopefully it'll be today. Can't wait for this one, which I believe will be President Trump's legacy, is the overturning of Roe v. Wade. I think that will be his greatest accomplishment, because when Roe v. Wade is overturned, because of him and his picks to the Supreme Court, he will have saved more lives over the course of time than any other individual in history. Because the number of abortions forever in this country will be dramatically reduced, and all those lives born are lives saved by Donald Trump. And it's happening because of his Supreme Court picks. This decision yesterday, even Roberts went along with it, who's been a traitor so many times. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's all because of Trump. Listen, these Supreme Court justices that President Trump put up there, there's going to be rulings on occasion where Amy Coney Barrett or one of the others, Kavanaugh, you won't like it. But these are big issues. On the big issues and in the big picture, they're coming down squarely on the side of the Constitution. See, whenever the judges are talked about, you'll hear Republicans say, well, we don't want activist judges, we want strict constitutionalists. Democrat judges are activist judges in that they make decisions not based on the Constitution, but how they want things to be, like they're a legislator. And conservative justices make decisions based on what the Constitution says. That's why there'll be a ruling you don't agree with sometimes, because, they're going strictly by the Constitution. But on these big ticket items, I don't know what the gun control and Roe v. Wade, they've come squarely down on the side of right on this. And it's amazing. If another Republican had appointed those three that President Trump did, they would have been a different three, and they would get wishy-washy. Over the years, we have had justices appointed by Republicans that have betrayed us. Sandra Day O'Connor, appointed by Reagan, was always voting with the left. Justice Roberts, who was appointed by G.W. Bush, gave us Obamacare. Remember that? And President Trump, I don't know how he did it. I mean, I guess he knows what he's doing. Because not only did he pick conservative justices, but justices that stay conservative once they're there. See, what happens, people that get appointed to the Supreme Court or even lower level federal judgeships are politically connected. That's how they get the appointments. But once they get on the Supreme Court, they're there for life and there's nowhere else to go. So they stop oftentimes being political and go rogue, and you get to find out what truly is in their hearts. And with President Trump, he was able to get people who were honest before they get the appointment about their feelings on all these issues and the Constitution. And when they get up there on the court and can't be removed and are there for life, they stick true to their beliefs, as opposed to a Roberts who's a creep, or Sandra Day O'Connor who was a liberal on things. So this is just amazing, these rulings that are coming out of the Supreme Court. Now, the Roe v. Wade, they're really holding that one off, aren't they? The liberal reaction to Roe v. Wade is going to be dramatic. Yesterday's reaction was well, this is the governor of New York. Let me play a little bit of this. This is the governor of New York right after the Supreme Court ruling was released.
Kathy Hochul is speaking right now. Let's go to those images.
With the leadership, we're just looking at dates. Everyone wants a little bit of time to digest this. But I will say we are not powerless in this situation. We're not going to cede our rights that easily, despite the best efforts of the politicized Supreme Court.
Okay, yeah, the politicized Supreme Court. See, the court is politicized if they're losing. And a lot of the Democrats, even the New York governor, this law's been on the books for 100 years. There are lots of laws that are on the books for a long time. It doesn't mean they should not be overturned by the Supreme Court. For example, blacks are slaves, blacks are property. That was a law for a long time. Just because a law is old doesn't mean it's constitutional. And then the Coven of the View yesterday.
The Supreme Court handed down their decision that will allow New Yorkers to carry concealed firearms. striking down a centuries-old state law that made people have to prove that they had due cause to conceal and carry. Now, people are still processing all of this. The implications, we don't know really what it actually means, but...
Yeah, well, we know what it means, Whoopi Goldberg. It means that the people of New York City in particular, will be able to protect themselves from the Democrats that are throwing people in front of subways.
Everything New York City is going through, it seems... I don't even have the words. It seems stupid. No, it's worse than that. It's worse than that. It's not even stupid. It is. It's such a middle finger to New York. It's a middle finger to New York because, you know, we have been trying to figure out how to get a handle on all that has been going on in this city in particular.
Okay, she can't even say crime. She can't. She wants to say we've been trying to figure out how to get a hold of crime. Like Whoopi Goldberg is sitting around with police and other leaders in the city trying to figure out how to get a hold of crime. You know, here you've got at The View, ABC television. I promise you, they have armed guards guarding that studio outside that building. It's okay for the left to be protected by guns, but individuals can't protect themselves by guns. The way that you handle criminals, more guns, less crime. That's a fact. More guns, less crime. Right now, if you are a criminal in New York, you can confidently attack someone and assume they're not armed with a gun because they can't get them, except in extreme circumstances. That means anyone is a potential victim. You got a population where you don't know, then there's a 50% chance there's a reduction in crime. Also, not only does that cause a reduction in crime, you can stop criminals if somebody in the crowd has a gun. This happens all the time. It's just not reported in the mainstream news because it doesn't fit the narrative. Let's take our break for the bottom of the hour. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Of South Florida, 95.3, 96.9, AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG Live station.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a Medicare advocate at the touch of a button? You can for less than $1 a day with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will assist you with doctor appointment scheduling, pharmacy issues, billing problems, plan benefits, Medicare applications. They'll even help when you're in the hospital. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Let them be your golden guardians. Contact I Will Advocates right now online at iwilladvocates.com or call them directly 954-345-1214. No matter where you're located throughout the state of Florida or nationwide.
By the way, Wesley, you sent a super chat. Sorry, I missed that. Thank you so much, Wesley, for that super chat. And if you've not already, please thank Wesley for sending the super chat.
Hi, folks. Dr. Matez here, now with the Biostation West Delray. At Biostation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest
Steve Kane Show.
experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone
Hey, Barry.
and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including
No, I'm drinking water, too. I'm just drinking coffee right now. I'll be drinking water after the... I've had water already this morning, and then I'll have coffee. Then after this coffee, I'll have water.
Don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, and it's Tuesday. So just a couple days away is the workshop with Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group. And on the line is Attorney Barry Siegel. Barry, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. So the countdown to the workshop has begun.
Oh, yeah. Here we are on Friday. It's coming up on Tuesday. So, we're pretty close to last chance to make a reservation. It's really just a great opportunity to get some good information that could make a big difference for you and your family to help you learn some things that you may not know about planning for your family, ways to avoid probates, ways to avoid messes, guardianship, ways to make sure that your future ex-son-in-law or future ex-daughter-in-law don't end up with your stuff, to make sure that you understand what you need in case of incapacity of you or your spouse. In about an hour of your time, you're going to get free information, the opportunity to learn a lot about planning that you may not know, and you'll also have the opportunity, if you are interested in reviewing or updating your estate planning, to get an appointment and to get a free discount certificate off of any fees if you do decide to get your estate planning done through our firm. So really, for anyone out there who's thinking of getting their estate planning done, updated, or who just wants some good information, it's really a great opportunity.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, the workshop is free, but they do ask that you call and make a reservation so they know how much space they need. And these workshops do fill up, all right? And when you call, they'll give you detailed directions on how to get there. So call the Siegel Law Group, the number toll-free, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week.
All right, thank you, Brian. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Take care, take care. All right, Steve joining us. Hey, Steve.
Morning, how are you today?
Doing better than the liberals. The last 2 days on the phones, the liberals they're losing their minds on this program.
No, I'm a very optimistic person, and I would like to get as excited as everybody else is, but I'm apprehensive about the announcement of this Roe v. Wade decision, because I think the Supreme Court has made a mistake by putting it off so long that they should have gotten it out of the way earlier. Because now, this is what I think is going to happen. I have this personality quirk where I like to predict the future. It's kind of fun, some days I get it right and some days I get it wrong, but it's a fun game to play, especially in terms of talk radio. What's going to happen, we all seem to know that Roe v. Wade is on its way out. When you take these two decisions together, the guns and the abortion decisions together, what do they have in common, Brian?
Well, they're triggering issues for the Democrats. And they're bread and butter issues. I mean, these are the two big ones with the Democrats.
Very, very big, very, very, very emotional issues, and both of them for the liberals out there that are going to, let's assume that the Roe v. Wade thing is thrown out, because I think it's a safe bet at this point. Enemy of the liberals in both those cases, the abortion and the gun case, is the Supreme Court. After the dust settles, when they make the announcement about Roe v. Wade, which looks like they're saving it until right before the weekend, I don't think that's such a great idea to have to get through a weekend. They've already announced the Nancy's list or whatever it is.
Jane's Revenge. But it might as well be in Nancy's list, though.
Jane's
Revenge.
They've already announced that they're going to start to riot. They're not making. They giving it a time frame. Be it the riot starts at 7 o'clock or whatever it is.
Yeah, BYOB.
They're going to look about and they're going to realize that all their woes and problems are because of the Supreme Court. And they're going to start to focus on that issue as early as this weekend, if the thing comes out today. And the new issue is going to be the packing the Supreme Court.
Absolutely.
Focus is going to be.
Absolutely.
Of course, they see the Supreme Court as the essence of their problem.
The barrier.
It's going to be, if I hope I'm wrong, believe me, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm afraid I'm not.
Well, let me respond to what you said. A couple things here. First off, Jane's Revenge, I think we should call it Nancy's List because it might as well be, and they're in league with Nancy. But a couple things. The first one about the delay in the Roe v. Wade case. I don't think this is by accident. I think this is a security concern with and what they're Yeah, I think that decision release of Roe v. Wade is being done by whoever is protecting them, the federal marshals, and the Supreme Court is an entire branch of the government, and there's a lot that goes into these decisions. They just don't say it. There's a lot of paperwork, and this is like legislation in a way. So, well, let me finish it here. So, I think they're trying to get all the business of the court done. When that decision is released, the Supreme Court justices will not even be in the Washington, D.C. area. They're going to have them, they need them out of town before it's released for safety, and that's why they're waiting.
That's fine.
Bruce,
I'm sure that's their thinking, or at least a part of their thinking. But I think it is a miscalculation on their part, because I think when you get people in the beginning of a weekend like this, and with two issues like that, they're going to focus their rage on the Supreme Court. I'm not saying they're going to attack the Supreme Court today. I'm just saying it's going to be across the country. These fanatics, these left-wing fanatics, are going to, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't matter when they release it. They're going to do what they do no matter what day it is, Steve. I mean, I think a lot of people like you and others just can't handle the suspense anymore. It's like Christmas. You want it overturned today because you want it so bad. And if it's on Tuesday or today, Nancy's Jane's Revenge are going to do what they do. It doesn't matter what day it is.
The weekend is bad. It gives them 3 days to work themselves into a frenzy. And it would have been nice. It could have taken the intensity down a level if they'd done.
Let me tell you, these activists, every day's the weekend to them. They got this is their job. And the other thing about the packing of the Supreme Court, let's talk about that for a minute. Already, I was watching yesterday, the Democrats are talking about packing the Supreme Court, okay? And they're calling the court illegitimate and political because President Trump appointed 3 justices. To them, he's not legitimate, so the court's not legitimate. What'll happen if that move was made, right? Biden very well could come out at any time and announce that and this Supreme Court would have to decide whether or not they're going to let themselves be packed or not. And I think them coming, I hope Biden comes out and nominates 3 or 4 new seats with the nominees, so that the Supreme Court, who we know is not going to allow that to happen, can rule on it. I think that's an awesome thing to happen, Steve.
Well,
the packing, oh yeah, it'll be a disaster.
Yeah.
FDR tried to pack the court, and he was more popular than this guy, and he couldn't get it done.
That's true.
Okay, and so there's no even Democrats on the Supreme Court have been vocally opposed to it being packed, even in discussions this year. So the Supreme Court will rule that it's 9. That's it. You can't do it. It'll be beautiful. It'll be beautiful. I can't wait for them to try to pack the court.
Will it be constituted?
No, and that's why the Supreme Court will toss it out, because they're trying to make because look at how great this Supreme Court is, Steve. This is an ultra conservative Supreme Court. We got a bunch of Scalias up there. It's awesome. It's awesome. You know, so this Supreme Court this Supreme Court with these members is a court we can trust, and they're not going to let it happen. They're going to toss it out.
I would like very much. We don't usually focus in that specifically on one issue. Allow a broad range of queries on these things, but I would like to hear what the listeners have to say about that issue. Do you agree with me that this is going to set off a major reaction against the Supreme Court, and there's going to be incredible grief, or do you believe that Brian is right and that it'll be as simple as taking it up to the Supreme Court and hoping that they final say in it?
Yeah, they will. They will. And Biden, I'm telling you, Biden will come out with, however, it'll be 3 or 4, right, to pack it, 3 or 4, and he'll come out and not only say he's doing it, but make the nominations at the same time. And that would be beautiful. Beautiful. And I hope it happens quick. before the elections. Well, that'll be beautiful. That would be like the greatest. You know, these Democrats are so consumed with their, that they don't see reality, and they think that would help, that they would get it through. But it would be a disaster for the Democrats. I beg Biden, please, 3, 4, 5, however many, 10, whatever, come out with the nominees. Oh yeah.
Calls to.
Well, since the calls are screenless, it's a little hard to limit because there are some other things going on. But I am going to tell you this though. Even though we kind of keep the phones open on Fridays, this is a limited open phone Friday for a couple of reasons. There's some big issues we got to discuss. What we're talking about with the Supreme Court is number one. Number two, this cheat sheet with Biden, and number three. The Democrat callers have been so unglued for the last all week long with this steady decline. We've got to have quality control on this program, more so than we would normally do, because the Democrats are so out of control. But let's take 1 or 2 calls, then we'll break and come back with more calls, all right? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
It's me?
Sounds like you.
Yeah, yes, this is Rip from Texas. And now you said now I had some questions that were a little bit different from what we're going on, but do apply to the Supreme Court. You made a comment here. First of all, I'm much more Trump than anybody around. You made a comment a few days ago that you thought everything is going really good for President Trump, and I just wonder if it really is, because you've got Merrick Garland here that's ready to just throw the book at him, and there's no way that he is not going to file on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're going to indict him? That they're going to indict him, and what's Trump's defense going to be if they find criminal charges against him, and it's going to the D.C. court, so you know what's going to happen. Will it be able to go to the Supreme Court for a final decision?
I could. Okay, now there's two different. Okay. There's two different things. I get it. Well, you're in the right place. Okay. Okay. I'm going to make you not so worried. Steve likes to be worried, so you and Steve can bond through worrisomeness and all this. Okay, there's two things. Really? You know, Steve?
No,
Oh, you don't like? He doesn't like you, Steve. He doesn't like you, Steve. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's okay. Well, Steve will live. Life goes on. Life goes on. Okay, there's two things. You got this Kangaroo committee, and you've got this corrupt attorney general, okay? The Kangaroo committee, they don't come out with indictments. So no matter what they come out with, that won't be an indictment.
Recommendation.
Yes.
Recommendation they're going to come out with is they're going to recommend to Garland that they're going to throw the authority to him and say they recommend that Garland issues in...
Correct. I do not believe Garland is going to do that. Yeah, I do not believe Garland is going to bring charges against President Trump. I don't believe it.
They've gone to all this trouble to not bring charges?
There's been a non-stop investigation of President Trump from Mueller on. And they've got nothing on him. They did a series of raids where they broke down doors with people that worked for Trump. Tucker talked about this last night. They're desperately searching for something. They got nothing on him because he did nothing wrong. There will not be criminal charges against him by Merrick Garland. I don't believe so. And I'll give you another reason why. They know that the Democrats are going to be out of power real quick, right? In the midterms in Congress, and they know 24 is not looking good either. If they set a legal precedent of just indicting and charging with crimes President Trump because they don't like him, they got a true criminal in there right now. We got Hillary and we got a bunch of others. They don't want themselves prosecuted by the MAGA Republicans that'll be taking over the government. So I don't think so.
hang up on me. I'm a little bit disappointed in Governor DeSantis right now.
DeSantis?
DeSantis. You know, if you notice, all over the place, they're trying to split Trump and DeSantis. But DeSantis hasn't really stood on his two hind feet yet and said, look, this is all...
He did in the beginning. He did in the beginning. Hold on. He made it very clear in the beginning, and all of a sudden he's remaining silent.
No, that's not true. Listen. I have seen Governor DeSantis has said many, many times he will not run against President Trump. Now, because the Democrats bring this nonsense up every day. What, is he supposed to come out every day and respond to it because CNN and these never-Trumpers keep saying it? He's on the record multiple times.
Well, that'd be wonderful. I would love to see both of them together in 20.
I'm with you, sir. I'm a little worried that DeSantis is...
Well, you like to worry.
I'm an 80-year-old veteran. I want to live to see it.
Okay, all right. Take care. Thanks so much. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take a break and be back.
This is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires.
Anyone who DeSantis isn't going to let himself get manipulated by the press and have to constantly respond to their crap every day.
At very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 955.
Limited open phones Friday. I've not been taking too many calls because these unglued liberals.
On new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Hi, this is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. If you call or text me on my cell phone, I will analyze your home and your FPL bill over the phone, and I can quote you on insulation, ducts, and radiant barrier. Call me now, and I'll show you how to save up to 30 to 40% on your electric bill this month.
By the way, guys, those of you that are members, welcome to all the new members. Thank you, everyone who is a member to the channel. There's a lot of member-exclusive content that I put up there, and I leave it up there. So go back and look at all the exclusive member content, because I do leave it up there when I post it. Yesterday I put a photograph of me up there with President Trump's personal caddy, which is pretty cool to meet that guy. Awesome guy. All right, we're back. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, hey, Joellen.
Am I on?
You're on.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Yeah, I called you yesterday regarding the Trump and DeSantis thing, but I heard DeSantis on the radio yesterday, and it sounds like he's not going to, run. He's going to, keep on with the governorship. But I have to tell you, I was out yesterday at a business, and I had my radio going loud, and this guy come up to me and he says, "What's that radio station you have?" And I said, "Steve Kane Show." He says, "Oh, it sounds very interesting." He goes, "I'm going to put it in my phone." And so I went back and a little bit. I says, "I hope you do." I says, the show is great. You can get on the phone. And he goes, "I've already got it in my phone." He says, I used to listen to Rush. He goes, "This guy sounds really good." So.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you. One listener at a time. When Steve and she's moving on to the topics. I was gonna comment on what she said, but okay, go ahead. What next, Joellen? No, I got a call yesterday. He's a new listener, and he told me a friend told him about the show. So when you guys tell people about the program and how to listen to the program, we greatly appreciate it. And when we first came to this station, we had a campaign we called Tell a Friend to Tell a Friend about the Steve Kane Show. So keep doing that, Joellen. It's greatly appreciated. And everybody else, too.
Yeah. So anyway, one thing that really irks me is when people talk about Biden running in 2024. There's no way this guy is going to be able to even probably talk by that time. So I don't know why these people keep talking about that, or even,
Well, this cheat sheet yesterday, Joellen, and Steve, I know you've seen the cheat sheet. This is the third cheat sheet that I know of, that I can think of off the top of my head, that is leaked out from Biden. None of them have been this detailed. This one shows, usually what the cheat sheets are the names of who to call on and where they're sitting. This was First, you walk into the Roosevelt room. You stand at the podium. You look to the left. You sit down. The direction on this was very detailed beyond anything we've seen, which shows massive decline.
Yeah, I pulled it up on YouTube after you. I heard you talk about it, so I saw that. Yeah,
it's frightening.
It is. Supreme Court, no matter what, how they rule. Of course, they're going to rule to end it, but they're gonna start rioting. It'll give them a excuse to riot, loot, blah blah blah. So.
You said you heard DeSantis yesterday, and he was asked if he's going to run against Trump, and what was his response?
He was just saying, what I heard was, oh yeah, everybody keeps talking about me running, because I'm out with my kids or something with ice cream, and he goes, I'm concentrating on the governorship right now. He absolutely had to. If Trump said, yeah, I'm not doing it, then DeSantis would step in, but otherwise.
If President Trump were in the White House now, all of us, including President Trump, would be pushing for DeSantis to run for president, but it's not his time. His time is 28, and I know it must be frustrating for him because he's so perfect and we love him, and he probably thinks he has peaked, and maybe he governors usually don't do that much, and he's just had an opportunity to do a lot, and it's just not his time.
So.
All right, Joellen, take care. Joellen in Fort Lauderdale. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is John, Montclair, California.
John in California. What's up, John?
I'm a retired veteran, and to me, the number one biggest national security threat.
Okay, all right. Now we know where that's going. This. I tell you, the accent. Did you hear about these threats against Swalwell, Steve? Eric Swalwell's talking about death threats he's gotten, and he released a phone call, or he released a message that the threat maker left. Okay, I cannot play you the message on the radio because not just because of the language, but because of the threats. I can't play that. I'm not able to play it on the radio. You guys can go online though. It's on Twitter, and listen to the Swalwell voicemail fake threats. Steve, I remember I told you all the seminar callers are from Kentucky and have that fake Southern accent. It was one of those calls. It was one of those fake Kentuckians who called and left him the death threats, which the fake Kentucky. I don't know what it is about Kentucky and the fake accents it was a seminar caller. You could tell, and when he made a big mistake when he released it, because it's being circulated through social media and in conservative media, and everyone who's listened to it has said the same thing. Fake call, Democrat pretending to be conservative MAGA. It's so pathetic. It's like our worst. It's not even a good seminar caller. I mean, it's like an amateur. They overdo the fake accent too much, But Swalwell's call was a disaster. All right, we're coming up on the top of the hour break. Our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE-1. So Steve is in doom and gloom. Biden's going to pack the Supreme Court. Trump is going to be charged with crime. You know what I think's happened? I think you're watching that January 6th hearing too much, Steve.
No, not a lot. I'll tell you the truth. I try to watch and I'd make it like less than 60 seconds.
Well, that's 60 seconds too much.
You can't underestimate the deviousness of these people. I mean, they're devious and they know how to manipulate, and they scare me.
When have they've been trying to get Trump for 7 years with investigation after investigation. They've never found anything. They've never charged him with anything because he's never done anything wrong. And the people that try to do these things to him end up disgraced. Liz Cheney her campaign is trying to get Democrats to re-register as Republicans to vote for her in the Wyoming primary. I mean, they're in bad shape. All right, listen, 2 hours down, 1 to go. We'll take our break for the top and be back.
Talk of South Florida, 95.3, 96.9, AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG Live station.
Steve Kane Radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to a Champagne Automotive, and I gotta say that this man is the most fair mechanic I have dealt with in my entire life. We took a car over there that was not being used yet. You know, it belonged to my 90-year-old dad. Everybody I had taken it to before was charging an astronomical amount of money. But when we took it over there, Eddie took a look at it, and I gotta say that this man fixed the car. It's running like a charm. Anybody that needs a mechanic, I strongly recommend Eddie, and he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Yeah.
So that I can edit.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting.
That came through at
Restoration. We have
21 seconds after.
Well, I didn't know if I broke right at the top or not. I wasn't looking at the clock.
Yeah, by you, it was the top.
Well, starting on Monday, I'm going to try to do that. So we can, you know, but yeah. He can adjust the length of the delay. Like if it were 10 seconds, that might be easier for us to calculate because I could break 10 seconds before. The problem is coming back. I can't hear the open. And we can't do the show from that studio. There's no phone board or anything. So...
Attention seniors, have you protected you and your family from financial ruin?
And what's worse is we're switching boards.
Yeah, you wouldn't even be looking at me because you're going to be in the SBR studio. There's not a phone board in the SBR studio either, is there?
There's one line. It's the fax line. I have to unplug the fax line so that we don't get the fax, you know, receiving a call.
And learn how to avoid being forced to spend down your assets. You will also learn how to avoid nursing home seizure of your assets. This free living trust workshop with attorney Barry Siegel is
Nah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. We'll work it out. We'll start doing it next week a little bit, and then we have a whole week before the big change. So we got 2 weeks to start getting used to it.
I'm not so worried about the other station. If we can nail our side of it, the other station will follow.
Yeah. So we got 2 weeks. So that's fine.
VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
What we're talking about is we had a format change coming, and it's coming in 2 parts. I can't tell you about all of it right now, but it starts a week from Monday, and the board op down the hall is going to start playing the commercials. So we're talking about, all right, the third and final hour has begun. Yes. Yeah, not so busy today. No, what happened during the break?
For the changes that are the very exciting changes that are coming.
Massive changes that are all good.
Do we have any recordings of that? Remember that we did that knockoff of Cheers? Pick up the phone.
Oh my! See, you're going back so far in time. No, that stuff is that stuff is no. None of that exists anymore.
Going to ask the audience if anybody out there, you'd be amazed how many people collect all Steve Kane tapes. I'd love to get my hands on that. John King's rendition of Pick Up the Phone and Call Steve Kane.
Well, we used to many years ago and radio stations ago. We had a guy who has since passed away in just the last few months, actually, His name was John King, and he was a musician, and he used to do a lot of parody songs for the show. And over the years, Steve and I have lost our copies of them because, you know, equipment, then things gets upgraded. And back in those days, we weren't even computerized at the radio station yet. It was so long ago. So if any of you have any old Steve Kane Show tapes with those old songs, get in touch with me, and maybe we can start playing them on the air. But there's I know a lot. Yeah. I know a lot of you guys know about this because there's promos running on the station. There's a format change that is coming a week from Monday on the 4th of July. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, you may hear me talking. I'm talking with the board op during the break, Rich, about some of the technical changes we're going to be doing that we're trying to coordinate and everything. And they're going to be very good changes. And we can't announce everything yet, but it's going to be in 2 stages for us, and it's huge and very exciting. And you all will know about it soon enough. But we're doing it in 2 phases. The first one's a week from Monday, and then a week or so after that is phase 2. And it's going to be very exciting stuff. I know Steve's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, and we're all very, very excited here on the Steve Kane Show. But if any of you have any of those old Steve Kane parody tapes or songs, get in touch with me, and I'll get them from you somehow. You know, President Trump, he's never Trumpers. I got 2 clips here I want to play. Well, let me play the good person first, Kari Lake. I love Kari Lake. I mean, isn't it Kari Lake? You know, she's running for governor of Arizona, and if she wins this race, and I think she's favored to win it, Kari Lake, by the time the presidential election comes around, she will have been governor 2 years. She very well could be the running mate for Donald Trump in 2024. She'll definitely be on the list of possibles for President Trump's running mate. And Kari Lake, have you seen her speak, Steve, at any of the Trump rallies? There's a Trump rally over the weekend, by the way. I don't remember where it is, but there is a Trump rally on Saturday. If anyone knows where that is, call and let me know. It slips my mind. Kari Lake, yeah, usually Newsmax carries them. You know, so you can always catch the Trump rallies on Newsmax. If you still have One American News, which I don't think you do, it's not on the dish anymore, but Newsmax carries them. Kari Lake speaks at a lot of Trump rallies before President Trump comes out. She is so good. And, you know, because she was a top-tier news anchor in Arizona with a local Fox affiliate, and she left because of the liberal bias in the news media. She just walked away, and she got very popular after that and decided to run for governor. And when she is dealing with the press, she's a maestro. I mean, is a woman a maestro or a maestra? I don't know. A maestress. She handles the press so well, and I've seen her just fillet the mainstream media because she's got all that. Her whole life has been on television, so she's got a skill set that most people that run for office don't have, and she's incredibly confident too. So Kari Lake is at a campaign event. She's outside walking, and a CNN reporter comes up to her and asks her for an interview. And what Kari Lake does is, I'm going to play you the clip, you'll hear the exchange. One of the things she does that shows her command of media is she has her own camera people with sound following her everywhere and filming everything, especially interactions with the media, so the media can't edit it and make it look like something that it's not. You know what I mean? And it's beautiful. So this is Kari Lake. She's walking outside at a big campaign event, and a lady reporter from CNN comes up to Kari Lake and asks her for an interview. Listen.
Hi, Harry. Hi. Nice to see you. You don't have a mask on anymore. We're outside.
Now I love this. Is such. I'll play the whole thing, but this technique. You don't have a mask on anymore. That's Kari Lake talking to the CNN reporter. So immediately she starts to humiliate the CNN reporter, right? Which to assert dominance in the conversation.
Hi, Harry. Hi.
Peer-to-peer super chat. Thank you.
You don't have a mask on anymore. We're outside.
Well, we're 6 feet apart. Do you have a minute to chat?
Peddling lies. I mean, that was just boom, boom, boom. It's like a song. It's a dance. I mean, oh. And, you know, and the thing with... and the thing with Kari Lake, every interaction she has with the media is just like that. That wasn't like, oh, Kari Lake had a moment. Every moment is a moment with her, and she's so good. And the way and that's why I say she wins this race. I'm sure she'll do a good job as governor. She will definitely be on President Trump's short list for VP running mates in 2024. We know Pence isn't on the list, so he's got to get new people on the list. Pence. So that's Kari Lake, who's, of course, an ultra MAGA candidate for governor in Arizona. So Ben Shapiro, who I cannot stand Ben Shapiro. In fact, I have never heard from a conservative that they like Ben Shapiro. I've never heard.
He talks so fast you can't understand a word he's saying.
If he were an auctioneer, it would be perfect, right? He talks like an auctioneer, you know. Yeah, I'd rather hear Mel Tillis do a show than him. He talks so fast, and he's very arrogant about it. He says he talks so fast because he has so much that he's got to share with his audience that he has to speak fast to get as much of it in as that he thinks.
That shows he doesn't know much about talk radio.
Well, he's
been around for a long time and he's got a reputation, but that's stupid. If you're going so fast, no one can understand you. That limits your ability to communicate right off the bat.
Yeah, well, I've got a clip of him that you can understand, and he's communicating clearly. He's a never Trumper. And by the way, I'd like to hear your thoughts on Ben Shapiro too. And 1-888-GO-CANE-1. He never misses an opportunity, Ben Shapiro, to trash President Trump. Okay, and let me play this clip. This is Ben Shapiro yesterday. I slowed this clip down to make it understandable.
Speaking of Donald Trump and the kind of power he holds over the Republican Party,
I didn't slow it down. I was just kidding. Yeah.
Speaking of Donald Trump and the kind of power he holds over the Republican Party, the answer is, on the local level, not much. So
he doesn't hold much power over the Republican Party. You know, this thing with Mo Brooks, he withdrew his endorsement of Mo Brooks and endorsed someone that's an unknown, right? No one ever heard of before, and they won, right? He has made 12 Senate endorsements. 12 Senate endorsements. All 12 have won. Every endorsement he's made for the United States Senate has won. 12-0.
Speaking of Donald Trump and the kind of power he holds over the Republican Party, the answer is, on the local level, not much. So what I mean by this is that Donald Trump's endorsement can move a few votes, maybe a few. Like in Pennsylvania, for example, Dr. Oz over Dave McCormick. Maybe it made a difference there. That was a competitive race anyway. Maybe it made a difference in a very competitive primary in the Ohio Senate race where J.D. Vance, with Trump's endorsement, emerged victorious. So he can move out a few tens of thousands of votes. But he's also endorsed a bunch of candidates who've just gotten skunked. Right? He endorsed David Perdue in Georgia. He got just blown out. And he also just lost a couple of other races in Georgia. Right? So he lost a race, Mike Collins versus Vernon Jones. He'd endorsed Vernon Jones. Mike Collins blew out Vernon Jones 75-25. What it seems like is if Donald Trump targets you and decides that you are an enemy, then it is unlikely that you win. So there's a difference between Donald Trump endorsing a person, which I don't think has a lot of power, and Donald Trump destroying people. Donald Trump still has the power to destroy, but I'm not sure that he has the power to build.
Okay, so you know, this is insane. Donald Trump, he's not going to win every race. He's won over 100 and lost just a handful. The losses you could probably count on two hands, and he's won over 100. He holds a world record endorsement success. But because he doesn't win 100%, Ben Shapiro is saying he has no power. I mean, these are the never Trumpers you've got to be careful of. And I know some of you follow Ben Shapiro. Don't. You know, he's a bad guy and a snake. He's one of the snakes that Trump reads the poem about. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, the Trump rallies in central Illinois.
Oh, thank you. All right, take care. So it's in Illinois tomorrow, Steve, but it'll be on Newsmax. It'll be on News. Well, we'll figure it out. So Saturday's enough. We'll figure out the time beyond that. He hung up, Steve. You didn't tell me the time. It doesn't matter. We'll figure out the time. So there's a Trump rally tomorrow. And this is another thing that that Shapiro misses. Okay. This Trump rally in Illinois is going to be a full house. There are going to be tens of thousands of people there. What former president can get more than a dozen or two people at a book signing ever in history? I've never known it. This guy, he has rallies that aren't even really announced more than a day or two in advance, and it's a full house with tens of thousands of people. And Ben Shapiro's questioning his influence and his power. That's insane. And when he says that he has the power to destroy but not to create, when he endorses someone, he is attacking the person that's running against them for very good reason. It's one and the same. I tell you, this Ben Shapiro, he wrote a column in 2015 titled "Why I Will Never Vote for Donald Trump." That's Ben Shapiro. So, drop him. He's a jerk. All right, we'll take our break and be right back.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
Dr. Matez here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous erection injection, an extremely effective treatment for erectile dysfunction made popular right here on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now available at the Biostation West Delray. Our custom compounded products yield combinations and dosages that increase the efficacy of Viagra and Cialis greatly. We also offer treatments that can correct the problem at its source, such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function. State-of-the-art testing and the most current treatment options all available in one place, the Biostation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a Medicare advocate at the touch of a button? You can for less than $1 a day with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will assist you with doctor appointment scheduling, pharmacy issues, billing problems, plan benefits, Medicare applications. They'll even help when you're in the hospital. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Let them be your golden guardians. Contact I Will Advocates right now online at IWillAdvocates.com or call them directly, 954-345-1214. No matter where you're located throughout the state of Florida or nationwide, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214.
Steve Kane Show.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today
Hold
to
on.
save up to 50%
Steve
on
Kane
your
Show.
installation
Okay,
and
hold on.
radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for...
Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Bruce. I'm mobiling around in dear old Boca Raton.
Bruce and Boca, what's up?
Well, the talk about Trump being indicted, it isn't going to happen, and my theory is that Schumer and Pelosi will never allow it because neither of them, nor Schiff, nor the Penguin, nor several other people want to sit and be deposed under oath. They'll never let that happen.
And the Penguin is?
I can't think of...
Jerry Nadler. Jerry Nadler. He looks like Danny DeVito's Penguin from the Batman movies. Yeah. You know, this. I agree that the Are you with us, Steve? Because I... Okay. All right. I didn't hear you in the background there. I wasn't sure I clicked you on. these people are involved in so many crimes themselves. Pelosi, Biden, and all the rest. Everything in the American justice system is by legal precedent. If they set the legal precedent of indicting a former president with crimes like this, it opens themselves up to it. And that's the last, that'll be the new tradition in Washington.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know a lot of them are criminally insane. You mentioned the Penguin. I mean, a lot of them are like the super criminals in Batman. They don't even know they're criminals. They're so but they don't want they know. They don't want things opened up.
They don't want to sit and talk under oath. There's no way that's going to happen.
It's a good point she makes.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, appreciate the call as you're driving around Boca. All right, you too. Yeah, Keith Olbermann, he's calling on disbanding the Supreme Court over them throwing out the concealed carry New York rules. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, we don't like the court ruling, so let's just disband the court. I mean, that's what they do in communist countries. That's what the Nazis did, right? The Nazis packed the court. They took all the judges out and then replaced them with Nazi judges. And then they had a court system, right?
Successful, but you know they're going to give it a shot.
Well, bring it on. That's all I can say. Bring it on. The country will turn against them like nobody's business. I mean, if you know this thing that the January 6th hearings, their ratings are an opinion poll. I was talking to you about this. I think it was last week, Steve. No, the ratings for the January 6th hearings are low beyond imagination. That's probably why Fox carried them yesterday. They are so desperate to make the January 6 hearings something that people are concerned. They had a fantasy that people would surround their television sets in front of these hearings. And it didn't happen. No one cares. No one cares. And Trump's numbers are going up and theirs are going down. That's why they're trying to create this divide, this fake divide about DeSantis and Trump, to make people think that the January 6 hearings are turning Republicans against Trump and into DeSantis. It's all. If the January 6 hearings were a ratings blockbuster, I would say something different. Then they would go after Trump maybe with an indictment. But because the ratings are so low, they're so unpopular, they wouldn't be able to get it through.
Lips to God's ear.
I guess so. All right, listen, our number's toll free 1-888 Go Kane. Oh, Nancy Pelosi's husband has been charged for the DUI.
Read all that, that's great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a light. You know, he killed his brother in a car accident. You know, and I imagine this guy's. I don't know. He's probably been drinking and driving his whole life. But one thing I've been waiting for is the dashboard cam from the police, and I'm really hoping that comes out. I don't want to just see how drunk I want to see who was in the Porsche with him. I don't think he was alone. He was at a...
In the car with... I mean, they asked him the question. It was one of those things where they asked him a question, and he didn't answer. And as you watched it unfold on television, it came across that the only reason... It was obvious the only reason he didn't answer is because the answer was yes. In other words, if there had been no one in the car, it would have been easier for him to say no.
Oh, he was asked if there was someone in the car, and he didn't respond.
Came out last night. Yeah.
Well, he was. You know, Nancy was on. Yeah.
Police were asked the question, and the police would not really answer it.
Well, Nancy was on the East Coast. He was at this party late at night in Napa Valley, and he had the Porsche with him. And the Pelosi's have a lot of cars. He chose to bring the Porsche. That's a date car. It was date night. And I'm dying to know. And you know what? Nancy's probably dying to know who he was with too. She probably already has her suspicions.
I'd be pretty sure of that.
Yeah, but I'd like to see the camera. The camera would show. I want to see if he started pulling this "Do you know who I am" attitude too. Yeah, because he sounds like. Well, we know he's married to Pelosi, so he's very arrogant. The rules don't apply. He's got more crooked business dealings than even Joe Biden, right?
Must be putting on through.
Oh, Well, I think it's kind of like the Clintons, right? Hillary Clinton didn't mind that Bill Clinton was cheating on her all the time. They had an arrangement that it wouldn't become public. So she would get, when it becomes public is when Hillary would get upset. She would be upset that it was public and embarrassing, not that he was doing. I imagine Pelosi has an arrangement with Paul. But now when it becomes public, that's not supposed to happen. And that's what flips her out.
Nights at that thing.
Well, he wasn't going home that night to her because she was on the East Coast and he was in California. So that's what I want to find out. Who was he going home with? And I confirmed something. You saw this story about Dr. Oz, Steve, wiping Trump from his website? Okay. I thought that he did something else to his website, but I wasn't sure. And then I confirmed this morning it's true. Okay, so Dr. Oz, who received Trump's endorsement, purged Trump from his website. He had a photograph on the front of his campaign website, Dr. Oz, of him and Donald Trump. And 2 days ago, he removed that picture of Donald Trump. In fact, not only did he remove the picture of Donald Trump, he removed a reference to any reference of Donald Trump on the front. He's also done the same to his Twitter. And there was something I noticed, and I thought it was just me being crazy, because it's not the kind of thing you would normally pay close attention to, but I found out I was right. I thought that he changed the background color from his Twitter from Republican red to Democrat blue, and I thought maybe it's just me not remembering the colors too well. And someone else was thinking what I was thinking. They have screenshots of Dr. Oz's Twitter before and after the Trump purge from his site. He not only took Trump off his site and also took off endorsed by Trump. He changed the background color from red, which is Republican MAGA red, to Democrat blue. And I mean, this is like a full Rhino transformation with Dr. Oz instantly. I don't know what he's thinking, Steve. What?
He's thinking that he doesn't want to be associated with Donald Trump, which is a huge mistake. I agree with that. But I think it's very clear what he's doing.
Well, I don't know who's advising him. And, I got a call yesterday from someone who made a very good point that now he's running against the lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania, who is an out-of-the-closet communist. And I'm not saying that just because he's a liberal. He says it. He says, I'm a social communist. He's not even embarrassed by it. So he's a bad guy, all right? Bad guy. And he's more whacked out than Bernie Sanders, okay? Yeah. I mean, it's really bad. He admits it, too. So it's not like, it's not like people say, oh, the Clintons are socialists. No, he says he's a socialist. Not democratic socialist, right? Like AOC and Bernie Sanders put Democrat socialist on there to water it down a little bit. He says, I'm a socialist. What Dr. Oz has done is dramatic. He's not only removed Trump and changed the color to the Democrat color, he's removed the statement endorsed by President Trump. And a caller yesterday on the show thinks Oprah Winfrey did this. Dr. Oz, his entire fame and fortune is from Oprah Winfrey. And he was her doctor. He was her cardiologist. And she liked him and gave him a TV show. So he's got a big connection to Oprah, and I agree with that caller. I think it's very possible that Oprah Winfrey, who hates Trump, she's in with the Obamas, called Dr. Oz up and got him to make these changes. We still need the seat. We need that seat to go to I'd rather the seat go to a traitorous Rhino than a Democrat, because it gives us the numbers for the majority that we need. I mean, we're really screwed here in Pennsylvania.
Exactly right. Well, no, we want Oz to win.
Yeah, but he sucks. Oz is awful. He's terrible. I mean, this is at least equal to Romney, if not worse than Mitt Romney. I mean, this is a big betrayal. And he did it even before the election. I did see a story a few days ago that he was behind in the polls, and maybe they convinced him to do this because some polls. He should go more Trump, not less Trump. If he's got problems in the polls, he should ask. Yeah, and we're 2-3 days into this transformation by Dr. Oz. And to my knowledge, not only has he not corrected it, I haven't seen him respond to it. He seems to be in hibernation. Oh, I'm not low-keying it.
That's true, but at least he had the good sense to... bad judgment in making the switch, but at least he had the good sense not to promo it a lot.
Well, he changed his website and his Twitter. I mean, that's, that is a big-time betrayal, and it's going to cost us that seat that we need for the numbers. I mean, that's it. And I'll say a lot of people in this audience told us, don't trust Dr. Oz. I don't trust Dr. Oz. You can't trust Dr. Oz. And they were right. Yeah, exactly. 100%. All right, listen, we'll take our break. We'll be right back. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. Back after this.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service.
Bruce Rice, $10 super chat. Thank you. Always get a receipt.
Went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires.
Good advice, Bruce. Thank you for that super chat. Please, everyone, thank Bruce for that.
I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going for now, man. It's everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man, and Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for
Steve Kane Show.
Evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos.
Oh, okay, hold on. I'll take you first after the break. Okay, hold on.
954-604-4602. That number again is...
We got a caller from Pennsylvania I want to take first on this, Dr. Oz.
And thanks for listening to the Steve Kane Show.
Attention seniors, have you protected you and your family from financial ruin?
Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust Workshop.
No, when we go through our format change, the board op down the hall is going to be running the commercials. I'm still going to handle the calls, but they're going to be running the commercials. So we were talking earlier a couple times during the break about doing that. So starting on Monday, I got to start taking the breaks actually on time because we're adding new elements to the show. We're going to have news, weather, and traffic reports at the top and bottom of the hour. So we have to be right on time at the top and bottom of the hour breaks. And we're coordinating because of the delay. I have a 20-second delay, right? What the board op hears in the master control room is 20 seconds ago from what I've done here. So we're working out how to coordinate that. All right, I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. Back to the phones from Pennsylvania. A caller from Pennsylvania. Oh, man, you got to decide what to do with this Dr. Oz caller.
I'll tell you, Brian. Pennsylvania right now is going crazy because we don't know what to do. We don't want him in. We don't.
You want him in. You want him in. It's better to have Oz in there than a Democrat.
Yeah, who's that Fetterman? You got that lieutenant governor who's a communist.
Yeah, I know that. But the thing of it is if we put Oz in, is he going to be for the people, or is he going to stab us in the back and go...
Oh, he's going to stab you in the back a lot of times. But here's the deal, okay? There's two things to consider, all right? And this is, I'm going to be very detailed about this because I want you to be able to share this with your fellow Pennsylvanians because you guys are voting. One, we need a Republican, even a Rhino, to get us closer to have the majority in the Senate. Okay? Okay? Okay, so that's important. Two, Dr. Oz is going to screw us over a bunch of times, but sometimes he'll vote with the Republicans. So this is what you got to tell your Pennsylvania friends. First, tell them about we need a Republican in the seat, even if they're fake, for the majority. Okay, and the second thing is this. Do you want a senator who's going to vote with the Republicans sometimes and vote with the Democrats sometimes, or do you want someone who's going to vote for the Democrats every time?
Right now, the word coming through with a lot of my friends and a lot of the groups in Pennsylvania, they want to stand up and call for a
There's no such thing. It won't happen. That's Fantasyland. He's the nominee. He's the nominee. He's got it. So, well, to me, it sounds like we're going to lose the Senate seat in Pennsylvania if that's the common attitude.
Oh, I think we are because I know at least 300 people that will not vote for him.
300? You know a lot of people.
I do. Yes, I do.
And why? And they're not going to vote for him because this thing this week was bad enough that he had the transition and abortion stuff on his TV show. Mm-hmm.
See, I come from a big family. I was in a foster home. I have a lot of foster family, and they're not voting for him because of the
well, see if you can bring them around. You know the story.
Yeah.
If you can bring them around to reality.
You sound like you have your head on straight. You understand. I'll give you an example here in Florida, real quick, caller. Okay, Marco Rubio is a piece of work. Okay. I don't like little Marco Rubio. Little Marco Rubio, he was promoting amnesty for illegal aliens. Okay, and he's a big rhino. But I had to vote for him, and I'm going to have to do it again. Okay, because if I don't support him, we're running the risk of having a Democrat in that seat, and the Democrat running against him was on the impeachment team against President Trump. So as much as I can't stand little Marco, who's a rhino, he's fake MAGA and everything else, we need a Republican in that seat for the majority.
I've told my friends there's a reason why Trump appointed him, because it's time for the changing of the guards in the Constitution.
Okay. Well, listen, tell your friends what we shared, and hopefully that'll sway them. All right, good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Christine in PA.
Oh, okay. Christine in Pennsylvania. Okay, Christine was one of the most vocal people on this program, saying Dr. Oz is a snake, you would not vote for him in the primary, and now here we are.
Yes, and here we are, and what kind of choice do we have? I don't know why Trump wouldn't listen to us about Oz and maybe use Kathy Barnett and promoted her, just like Mo Brooks got promoted out, and he promoted a woman that no one else ever heard of. So why couldn't he have done that here?
Yeah. My guess would be President Trump looked at some polls that he had and didn't think that she could win. But now it looks like Dr. Oz can't win.
Well, what do you think about if people write someone's name in? If there was enough people to write the same name in, that would vote Dr.
And to my knowledge, and I want to desperately be corrected on this, to my knowledge, in a statewide race in the modern era, there's never been a successful write-in candidate. And I'll tell you what would happen. If you you misspell the name, they won't count it and stuff like that. Even if you had a mass, there's very few examples of people that are third party winning. And I do not know of a successful write-in candidate in a statewide race ever. Let's keep it to since there's been color television. You know, I don't want someone to call me back. Well, like 1836. I just don't think that's possible, Christine. You know.
Mess.
Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
That Oz was bad.
He is very bad. What are you going to do?
I don't know, Brian, to be honest. I really don't. I'm not going to vote for a Democrat, but I'll tell you, I'm really, really stuck between a rock and a hard place on this.
Well, let me tell you, when...
Look, this is very simple, folks. You know, it's not a complicated issue. You don't want a Democrat in there. You want a Republican. Oz is far from perfect, to say the least, but he's better than a Democrat. There's control of the Senate can be in the balance. Look what happened in Georgia last time.
And Trump, when Trump comes in 2024, 2/3 of the Senate will have been up, and he's planning on having a very secure majority by then. And we need that. We need, even if he votes with the Democrats every time, we need to have a Republican in that seat. And I'll tell you though, I think he'll be loyal to Trump when Trump's back in 24. I don't think he would be disloyal to Trump at that point.
I hope you're right.
We have no choice, Christine. He's the nominee now. We have no choice. I mean, we're, you know.
You, as you said it yourself, you're not going to Democrat. That leaves Oz.
Yeah.
And don't leave it blank. If you leave it blank, you're voting for the Democrat.
Don't overthink it.
You know how hard it is for me to vote for Marco Rubio? I was on the air before his last election saying I will not vote for this snake. He was talking about Trump's hand size and all this crap. And I was driving to vote. After I said on the air that day I wasn't going to vote for him, my wife she said, Brian, you can't do it. You got this Democrat jerk, you got to do it. And I did it. And I was physically ill, but I did it. Because we got to have a Republican in that seat. And your guy's the worst. Your lieutenant governor he's running against is an out-of-the-closet proud communist.
Oh, yeah, he's terrible. I will not vote for him. He is not getting anything from me.
Well, there you go.
Nose for Oz.
There you go. Now you're talking, Christine. Hold your nose. Hold your nose. And, you know, the lieutenant governor, he's farther to the left than AOC.
Yeah.
He is. I'm not, yeah.
Yeah, I know. He's bad.
Okay. Okay, well, Christine's going to hold her nose and vote for Dr. Oz. Oh, well,
you.
All right. Okay. Okay, Christine's going to hold her nose. She's going to hold her nose and vote for Dr. Oz, for Trump. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian and Steve. It's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
I'm in the same boat as...
Oh, Andrea's in Pennsylvania, too, by the way.
Yeah. Where things are getting weirder and weirder.
So what are you going to do on Election Day? Good call, Christine. Thanks.
To be honest with you, I was against Oz from the start because I think that not only is he going to betray Trump, he's going to betray the country. And I really hate to say this. I really do. I think Herschel Walker's going to do the same thing.
Oh my God! You guys are thinking too much.
Thinking too much.
Here's I'll do what Christine is going to do. Of course, I'll hold my nose.
Okay, now you're talking.
Hold your nose, okay.
But here's the
Join the hold your nose crowd.
They never fixed the voting.
Yeah. Well, but the problem is he is. Well, listen, we're going to take our last break. All right, thanks for calling. We'll be right back with the Gold Report. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve is here. Don't go anywhere.
South Florida, 95.3, 96.9, AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG Live station.
Hi, folks. Dr. Matez here.
Steve Kane Show. Okay, hold on, Steve.
Modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget,
Yeah, there.
offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
All right, and it is time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
Good. How the metals look today?
Metals are giving us a buying opportunity again. Yesterday, gold dropping $15.70, closing down at the lower end of our trading ranges at $1,822.30. These dips are absolutely the buying opportunity for us, so a lot of people taking advantage of that. Silver was down 48 cents at $20.94, while platinum was down $21 at $907, and palladium was down $18 at $1,776 the ounce. This morning, gold up $2 right now at $1,824.30. Silver down another 9 cents at $20.85 the ounce. Platinum up $4 at $911, and palladium up $17 at $17.93. That's pretty much where we are starting off this day. We'll see how it closes, but again, very stable at these lower ranges, and a lot of people taking advantage of all these dips when we see this trading range get down to the lower level here.
Yeah. Yes. Well, what are you recommending today? Is it a gold day? Is it a silver day? What kind of day is today?
Oh, absolutely a silver day, I think. Silver, if it can remain under $21 for a few more hours, maybe, great buying opportunity.
Now, when people come in, of course, all the metals available for immediate delivery, including those American Silver Eagles that people love and are beautiful, beautiful. All right, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop right in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway. You can find them online at williamyoungerman.com or give them a call. Remember, they open at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we will talk on Monday.
Okay, have a great weekend.
All right, take care. All right, the clock is ticking. You want to, yeah?
You know something I noticed yesterday with Biden? Yesterday was the worst he has ever looked.
Really?
The thing that struck me about it, the thing that was different yesterday, is his voice has gone.
Yes.
His voice, he didn't even sound like himself. It's just not a good, he doesn't sound healthy. He sounds not.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Sounds out of it.
Well, yeah, because he is.
Like him.
Yeah, he was in particular bad shape yesterday. All right, back to the phones. Another caller from Pennsylvania. We're hot in Pennsylvania. We need to get some local Pennsylvania sponsors, Steve. 3 calls in a row from Pennsylvania. What are you going to do, caller, when it comes to Dr. Oz, this traitor?
Oh, I'm going to vote for Dr. Oz.
Why?
Well, for one thing, I voted for him in the primaries, primarily, I guess, because of your show. I kind of agree with you on just about everything, as far as I can't think of anything I disagree with you with. But
you have great judgment, sir.
Yes.
Thanks. I knew you'd say that. But the fact that Trump picked him is good enough for me.
Well, yeah, but what do you think about him wiping Trump from his website and changing the background color from MAGA red to Democrat blue?
I don't like that. I haven't been to his website, but I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, and I agree, I'd rather see him in there than a Democrat, because a Democrat will vote Democrat every time. But Democrat, maybe, even if he does half the time and half the time Republicans, it's better than having a Democrat.
Yes.
I'm going to vote for him. I'm going to definitely vote for him in the November.
Oh, well, that's good news. So, we've heard from 3 callers, and actually 4 callers in a row from Pennsylvania, all of them MAGA, and they're going to hold their nose and vote for Dr. Oz because we need the numbers for the majority in the Senate.
Oh, that's what made me call. I'm watching your show now, obviously, and on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You had several callers in a row from Pennsylvania. I figured, well, that's my time to call.
Oh, yeah.
I wait for my chance to call, and I call.
We're hot in Pennsylvania. I got to tell you, hot in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but the weather's beautiful around here right now.
Not as good as it is here in Florida. I promise you that. Hey, listen, take care. Thanks for the call. All right? All right. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is JJ. Very dangerous, but so I call it a dementia sheet. He's lost it. It's sad. It's very dangerous for our country.
It wasn't like talking. Yeah, it's not bullet points like so you don't forget. Oh, don't forget the call on John Carl from ABC. The ruling affects 40 states. It's not like facts. It's like you will walk into the room, then you will sit down. Then you will look to your left, and then you will leave the room. I mean, and I didn't make those up. Those are on the cheat sheet. This is scary.
And Kari, when it comes to what is the definition of a woman, all you got to do is just put Kari Lake. Just put her picture there. That was brutal.
Oh yeah.
Loved it. I loved it. I actually I don't hate to admit this because I'm human. But I actually felt bad for that poor reporter. Didn't know what happened. She just got destroyed. If you see the video,
yeah.
The I heard, Brian, was on your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded horrible, and I was like, it sounded great in a way. But then I said, I got to see if there's a video of that. I went out and I found the video and I saw it, and I actually felt sorry. Kari did the throwaway handshake, on the down. She held the woman's hand the entire time. They were both holding hands during this conversation.
It was total condescending to her, but I don't feel bad for her. She's from CNN. The reporter, and she had that CNN arrogance to her.
It's kind of like seeing a lost puppy dog or something that I couldn't help it, Brian. I know, let's say take a breath. I felt bad for her a little bit, but I know what these people have done at CNN, But my God, what a powerful woman! I love.
I like how she did it in those 3 beats too. She just humiliated her, set her up, and then.
The down handshake, the throwaway handshake. If you see the video,
yes.
She says thank you on the downward stroke of the handshake and just throws it away.
And let me tell you, if you notice the mainstream media, the Kari Lake race is high profile, and none of their top reporters have gone out there to cover it because they're afraid of her. They send the underlings that, you know what I mean? You don't see Jake Tapper going out there and or Brian Stelter going out there and trying to confront Kari Lake because they'll be humiliated by her. They can't take it.
Exactly. Shapiro, quick comment on him.
Creep.
It's the end of the show. Quick comment on Ben Shapiro. When he talks about the Republican Party and Trump is the Republican Party. Rhinos are on the way out. They're extinct. They're going to become extinct going forward over the next 3 elections and going forward. Democrat Party that exists right now is gone as of 2022. They're gone for maybe 50 years plus. All the Republicans have to do under Donald Trump is just don't turn into the corrupt political uniparty.
Mm-hmm.
On being America first, and our country will get back on track. Eventually, we'll be 100% MAGA.
Mm-hmm. That's right. 100% MAGA. I like that. All right, take care. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, Julie from Port St. Lucie.
Hey, Port St. Lucie. What's up?
Hey, Julie.
Yeah, I feel the same about Rubio too. But you got to vote for him because I'm not voting for that thing that they want to bring in as no way. She's wicked. And her husband is one of the reasons why the masks were in place because he's the mayor of Orlando. So he was really a tyrant too. So you don't want that woman.
Well, the one I cannot remember her name offhand. Her commercial's on every 2 minutes. Val Demings. Okay, yeah, she's running for Senate, and she's trying. In her commercial, she never says she's a Democrat. She attacks the defund the police movement, and the background animation is in red. She's impersonating a Republican in her commercials.
Well, you know, her husband's the mayor of Orlando, and one of the reasons why Disney World had to wear masks for so long is because of him.
Yeah.
Oh, let's try another. Yeah, he had a lot to do with why Disney World had masks forever, and why they, you know.
And she was she was chosen by Nancy Pelosi to be a part of the impeachment team against President Trump. So I mean, come on. Oh yeah, she's bad. But you know what? I'll tell you something though. The fact that she's trying, when you watch her TV commercial again, you'll see she's pretending to be MAGA Republican. That tells you the sad state.
Anybody lives in Florida, and I don't live 4 hours away from Orlando. You know her husband's the mayor. So that right there.
No, not everybody. I didn't even know that till you mentioned it. And here's the thing. I know it now. You're close to Orlando and Port St. Lucie. You're closer than we are. You're like an hour and a half away.
All the CDC, because I wanted to see what what's going on there. You know, I don't know why Universal did stuff a lot sooner than they did. But anyway, yeah, he's crooked, and they're both cops.
Yeah, crooked cops. But listen, the fact that she has to pretend to be a Republican tells you the sad state of affairs for the Democrats. Right?
Something we don't know. Yeah, maybe he's getting his. Dr. Oz want to run for senator anyway. I'm like
he's got nothing else to do. All right, listen, take care. Thanks for the call. Before we say goodbye, I want to tell you, go to mypillow.com, buy something with the promo code K. My wife and I, we bought 2 more pillows this week, which are buy one, get one free. You got to support Mike Lindell. You should see my bed. My bed has more pillows than any other bed in Florida, and they're all my pillow. And, but listen, there's a lot of great specials going on there, including the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, which I sleep on every night. With our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, 30% off, and you get a free set of MyPillow sheets with it. Take advantage of all the specials you see at MyPillow.com with the promo code KANE at checkout for huge discounts. In fact, save up to 66% off. This canceling by Walmart of MyPillow is a huge blow. It really is. It's tens of millions of dollars a year. And we're not going to let Mike Lindell have to lay off a single person. Stand with Mike Lindell. Order these great products. Use our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and support the Steve Kane Show at the same time. All right, we are all out of time. Callers on hold. I'm sorry. You want to sign us off, Steve?
Does it for today. Let's watch Donald Trump over the weekend. We'll be discussing it Monday. And until then, on behalf of our associate producer, Lori Kane, my partner and co-host, Brian Craig, I'm Steve. See you Monday. God bless America.
To Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your installation.
All right, guys, listen, I got to run. I got a meeting I got to get to, but I'll see you soon, all right? Thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video before you go, and if you're new, please subscribe, all right? All right, take care. Thanks for watching.
95.3, 96.9 AM.